I now speak the word. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. By divine right, my supply flows freely and continuously. What is mine by divine inheritance cannot be withheld from me. My wallet, a symbol of the substance of things hoped for, draws unto itself all that I require and more. The field must respond to my word, for the spoken word sets spiritual law in motion, and none can oppose it. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I walk by faith, not by sight, and I know there is no lack in divine mind. I do not concern myself with outer appearances. I do not look to man, to wages, to banks, nor to conditions. My wallet is not limited by the world's illusion, for my wallet is under grace, my wallet is under law, my wallet is connected to the infinite storehouse of supply. Before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. This is the word of the Lord, and the word cannot return void. So I declare boldly, my wallet is full of divine circulation. My wallet is a holy vessel for substance. My wallet receives money from expected and unexpected channels. My wallet calls in supply. My wallet radiates wealth. As I give thanks for what is already mine in the invisible, the visible must come to pass. That which I see not shall soon be seen. I hold my wallet now and speak the word. Wealth loves me, money comes to me freely. I am aligned with divine supply. All financial needs are met before I even utter them, for the Father knoweth what things I have need of, even before I ask. I do not beg, I do not plead. I speak the word. I command supply to appear now. I command riches to pour into every pocket, every fold, every space in this wallet. And it is done in divine order. None of these things move me. I am not disturbed by an empty purse, by a forgotten bill, nor by a passing appearance of lack. For I know appearances are unreal. I know fear is false evidence appearing real. I do not energize the false. I speak truth, and truth is, my wallet is never empty. My wallet is never barren. My wallet is never without. My wallet draws unto it prosperity, gold, green currency and coin, by divine law and right. Every time I open my wallet, I declare, thank you, Father, for the overflowing supply. I bless every bill I see. I give thanks for every cent I hold. I treat money with reverence and joy, for money is God in action, moving on the visible plane. My attitude toward money is one of faith and freedom. I do not chase it, I welcome it. I do not hoard it, I bless it, and the money I release returns to me multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I now speak the word again. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. The law of attraction is but the law of radiation. What I radiate, I receive. What I bless, increases. What I fear, I draw near. Therefore I erase all thought of loss, of limitation, of not enough, and I replace it with truth. I have more than enough. I live in the overflow. I am supplied with substance beyond my asking. There is no separation in divine mind. There is no distance between my wallet and the riches of heaven. The same power that hung the stars in the sky now fills my wallet with money in right ways. The same voice that said, "Let there be light," now speaks through me, saying, "Let there be wealth, let there be increase, let there be provision," and there is. I stand in the midst of plenty, and I see it. I declare it. I align with it. My faith is the magnet. My gratitude is the key. My word is the command. And so I speak again. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. My wallet is filled with money. My wallet is a magnet for gold. My wallet is sacred ground for circulation, for giving, for receiving, for divine abundance in action. Every word I speak returns to me with increase. Every truth I declare is etched in the ethers. Every affirmation I affirm becomes a command to the field. My word does not return void. I speak with authority. I speak with dominion. I speak with faith that is anchored in the unchanging truth of spiritual law. The Lord is my supply, and my supply is certain. And so it begins. The magnetism is active. The wallet is charged. The wealth is drawn. The flow is initiated. I bless my wallet now, and I call it holy. I bless my wallet now, and I call it full. I bless my wallet now, and I call it done. I now rest in divine assurance, for the field has heard and the field must respond. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet, and so it is. I now remind my spiritual students, nothing stands between you and your good but fear, doubt, and wrong words spoken. The law does not know personality, it knows vibration, it knows command, it knows spoken truth. And I say again, my wallet attracts wealth like a magnet, for the law is ever working, whether to build or to destroy. I choose to speak words that build, words that magnetize, words that shape invisible substance into visible form. My wallet is a divine container, a visible vessel for invisible supply. And what I hold in mind, I hold in hand. What I prepare for, I receive. I do not look to man's economy, for I am not under man's law. I am under grace, and grace is sufficient. My wallet reflects my consciousness, and my consciousness is now one with plenty. Therefore my wallet must show forth signs and wonders. For it is written, signs shall follow them that believe. I now say I believe. I believe in the divine source. I believe in the abundance of the infinite. I believe that supply is spiritual before it becomes material. I believe my wallet is blessed. I believe my wallet is growing in power. I believe my wallet is attracting wealth from all directions now. I speak the word of wealth, and wealth must appear. It must obey the word, for the word is law. What the soul accepts, the body experiences. What the mind declares, the world reflects, as within, so without, as above, so below. Therefore I do not wait for money to prove itself before I believe. I believe and then the proof appears. I praise my wallet as if it were already full. I rejoice in advance. I walk by faith, not by evidence. For faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I say again and again, my wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. I do not ask how. I do not ask when. I do not concern myself with the channel, for the channel is not my business. The outcome is secured by law. My only duty is to align, to speak, to declare, to give thanks, to hold fast. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, tossed by the wind. I do not waver, I do not question the law. I work it. Every coin I place into my wallet I bless. I do not count it small. I do not call it just enough. I call it blessed, multiplied, and growing. I do not say, it is not enough. I say it is the seed of the harvest. I do not say, this is little. I say this is the beginning of increase, for what I call it it becomes. I speak life over my money. I speak expansion over my wallet. I speak multiplication over every dollar, and every peso and every cent, and the law of increase is activated by my word. I now erase every thought of hoarding. I do not fear loss. I do not cling to substance. I am not a miser. I am a master. I give in faith. I receive in faith. I circulate freely, for money is divine circulation. I do not trap the river. I let it flow, and as I release I receive. As I give I gain. As I trust I triumph. My wallet is a channel, not a container. It does not hold and stop, it receives and flows. It receives to release and releases to receive. It is a divine rhythm, a sacred pulse of the infinite. I say again, my wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. Every time I carry it, it draws unto itself good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Every time I open it, it opens to miracles. Every time I bless it, it is blessed. I remember the words of the prophet, prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. My wallet is ready, my wallet is open, my wallet is under the open windows of heaven, and my faith is the proof that activates the promise. I do not argue with appearances. I do not complain about timing. I do not rehearse lack. I rehearse truth. I rehearse supply. I rehearse my divine inheritance. I repeat again with power. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. My wallet is the proof of my faith. My wallet is full of divine substance. My wallet carries the vibration of plenty. My wallet is a magnet for money, gold, favor, and increase. And so I let it be. I trust the law. I trust the flow. I trust the magnetism. I have spoken into being. I have spoken the word, and my word does not return void. My wallet is no longer passive. It is powerful. It is no longer empty. It is expansive. It is no longer waiting. It is drawing. And so I say it again, and again, and again. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet, by divine right, in divine order, now and always. The word has gone forth, and I do not call it back. I do not contradict it with fear, nor cancel it with doubt. I do not sow and then dig up the seed. I do not bless and then curse with complaint. I remain steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of truth. For I know that my wallet, touched by faith and anointed by spoken word, has become a living instrument of divine supply. I repeat again with holy conviction, my wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. I no longer treat money as a stranger, nor speak of it as though it were far from me. I do not say I lack, or I wish, or I need. I say it is mine now by divine right. I do not delay my good with low speech. I do not distance my prosperity by the confession of struggle. I call money near. I call it welcome. I call it holy. I call it here now. The field must respond to my vibration, and I vibrate wealth, gratitude, and right action. The ethers are charged with my word, and the substance of things hoped for is already forming. I now speak to the invisible: money, appear; provision, manifest; supply, take shape. I command the elements. I command the unseen. I command the hidden things to come forth. Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things, which thou knowest not. I am not afraid to call. I am not afraid to command. I am not afraid to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord concerning my wallet. Each time I touch my wallet, I treat it with honor. I do not crumple bills. I do not speak of never enough. I do not rehearse how it was. I rehearse how it is in divine mind. And in divine mind I have more than enough. In divine mind I live in the overflow. In divine mind my wallet is a magnet for miracles, a doorway for favor, a house of gold prepared for the righteous. And so I walk with certainty, even when appearances suggest otherwise. I speak faith over empty places. I bless the space that is yet to be filled, for the space itself is holy. It is the womb of creation. It is the readiness that receives. It is the stillness before the outpouring. I bless the empty wallet, for it is no longer barren, but ready. I bless the empty purse, for it is no longer lacking, but receptive. I say again, my wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. I do not concern myself with delay. Delay is but a testing of vibration. Delay is not denial. Delay is the invitation to remain unwavering. And I do not waver. I do not shrink. I do not speak the language of doubt. I speak truth. I speak law. I speak faith that moves mountains and parts the Red Sea. The same God that rained manna from heaven now rains provision into my wallet. The same Spirit that fed 5,000 now multiplies what I hold. And the miracle of multiplication begins with my mouth. I speak the word. My wallet is full. My wallet is favored. My wallet is chosen. My wallet draws money from the north, south, east, and west. My wallet is magnetic with divine intelligence. My wallet is blessed in the city and blessed in the field. My wallet receives deposits from sources known and unknown. My wallet is never forgotten. My wallet is never denied. My wallet is never empty in divine mind. And what is true in divine mind must become true in manifestation. That which I decree with conviction shall be established unto me. My spoken word plants the seed. My unwavering faith waters the soil. My gratitude calls forth the harvest. I remain in high vibration. I dwell in the house of faith. I trust the law that never fails. The law of supply. The law of circulation. The law of spoken word. These laws are my covenant. Therefore I return again to the truth that has already been declared. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. This is not idle speech. This is not wishing. This is not mere hope. This is creation. This is alignment. This is spiritual science. My voice echoes in the ethers, and the ethers respond. My word shapes the substance, and the substance obeys. My vibration sends the signal, and wealth answers the call. There is no power in conditions. There is no truth in limitation. There is only one power, one source, one truth, and that is God. God is my supply. God is my bank. God is my circulation, and the God within me declares, all that the Father hath is mine. I accept that. I rejoice in it. I rest in it. I proclaim it now and forever. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet, and none of these things move me. I now go deeper in truth, for truth is always simple, always sure, always eternal. I say again, my wallet attracts wealth like a magnet, and this magnetism is not of man, but of spirit. It is not effort, but energy, not force, but faith, for what I believe about my wallet becomes the law of its substance. If I say it is poor, it remains poor. If I say it is blessed, it becomes a channel of blessing. The wallet itself holds no power, but the word I speak over it sets the law in motion. As I bless, I multiply. As I affirm, I magnetize. As I speak, I shape. The outer responds to the inner. The visible conforms to the invisible. What is seen bends to what is spoken. I do not adjust my belief to fit what I see. I adjust what I see by speaking what I believe. I say it boldly and without fear. My wallet is rich in vibration. My wallet is radiant with wealth. My wallet holds the fragrance of favor and the energy of expansion. The law is exact. It gives to each man according to his belief. If I believe in struggle, I receive it. If I believe in overflow, it comes forth. If I believe that my wallet is powerful, then the money must appear, the door must open, the check must arrive, the channel must be revealed. I do not need to know how, I only need to know the word, and I know the word. I say again with sacred rhythm, my wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. It attracts gold, because I have spoken gold into it. It attracts overflow, because I have not feared giving. It attracts plenty, because I have made peace with prosperity. I do not wrestle with increase. I do not resist supply. I do not apologize for abundance. I walk in it. I speak it. I wear it like a robe of royalty. The field hears me. The ethers know my tone. The law records my decree. I do not cry to be heard. I do not beg to be seen. I do not hustle to be filled. I speak. And it is done unto me as I have believed. The word is the worker. The word is the key. The word is the magnet. And so I repeat it again. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. I do not keep money away through low thoughts and words. I do not say money is hard. I do not say it's not enough. I do not say I can't afford. These are false beliefs, lies from the realm of illusion. I replace them now with sacred affirmations of truth. Money flows to me with ease. Supply is unlimited. My wallet is overflowing. My purchasing power is great. Divine resources meet every demand. My wallet is under grace, and not under law, and as I speak it I feel it. I feel the current of wealth move through me. I feel the presence of provision surround me. I feel the energy of ease and delight. I do not struggle for what is mine. I do not strive where I should rest. I rest in knowing. I walk in assurance. I speak in power. I receive in joy. I take my wallet now and declare, you are not empty. You are not lacking. You are not forgotten. You are filled by divine right. You are overflowing with riches. You are the sacred carrier of my good. You are the instrument of generosity, the vessel of provision, the channel of miracles, and the vibration now grows. The magnetism now amplifies, the attraction now expands. The more I bless, the more I receive. The more I believe, the more I witness. The more I declare, the more I draw forth. And so I do not stop declaring. I do not stop praising. I do not stop affirming. I say it once more with the full force of divine knowing. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. This is not a wish. This is not imagination. This is law, and the law is always working. Whether I speak in fear or in faith, it works. I choose faith. I choose blessing. I choose truth. And I choose to believe in the wealth of God flowing through all things, even my wallet. As I walk through the day, I bless every transaction. I give thanks for every bill. I speak increase over every receipt. I declare divine circulation in every purchase, every gift, every exchange, for money flows in divine order, and I am always in the flow. My wallet is proof of my alignment. My wallet reflects my vibration. My wallet bears witness to my words. And I speak again. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet, and none of these things move me. I now move deeper into the unseen truth that governs the visible world. The supply you seek is not out there. It is within, and it is spoken into form. You are not a beggar before fate. You are the mouthpiece of God. And the tongue is a creative instrument. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Therefore I say again, my wallet attracts wealth like a magnet, and my tongue has decreed it so. Every time I speak the word of prosperity, I build a magnetic field around my wallet. I surround it with the vibration of increase. I seal it in the certainty of divine right. This is no idle saying. This is spiritual architecture. I am building form from the formless. I am calling those things which be not as though they were. For the word spoken in faith draws from the great warehouse of substance and deposits it into time and space. I do not declare someday. I say now. I do not say if it's meant to be. I say it is mine by divine right. I do not ask permission from the world to prosper. I claim my inheritance from the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. My wallet, though small in size, is mighty in meaning, for it is a symbol of the place where spirit meets form, a place where the invisible steps into visibility. I declare now over the listener, your wallet is blessed. Your wallet is powerful. Your wallet is not a container of lack, but a conduit of plenty. Your wallet responds to your words, and your words are saturated with faith. Your wallet is now a magnet for unexpected income, surprising favor, sudden promotion, and unusual streams of financial release. Say it with me now. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet, not just occasionally, not just when the world allows it, but always, constantly, continually. As long as I hold the thought, as long as I speak the word, as long as I stand in truth, the field must respond. I am never denied. I am never too late. I am never outside the blessing. I am always aligned, always heard, always answered. I do not allow the voice of the world to cancel the vibration of heaven. I do not rehearse what man says about inflation or cost or hardship. I rehearse what Spirit says. All things are yours. Ask and it shall be given. Before they call, I will answer. These are not merely words of comfort. They are laws in motion, divine guarantees, eternal contracts. My wallet is now a place of prophecy, a place of fulfillment, a place where seed becomes harvest and word becomes wealth. I bless it now with the blessing of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I bless it with the overflow of the widow's oil and the abundance of the fishes and loaves. I bless it with the riches of Solomon and the favor of Joseph. My wallet contains the vibration of all these stories, and the law knows no limitation of time. The past is no barrier. The present is no obstacle. The future is already forming in my favor. My wallet holds proof that I have spoken the word, and the word is working. I do not measure with the eye. I measure with faith. I do not wait to feel rich before I claim it. I speak the richness first. I do not wait to see a harvest before I bless it. I bless the seed and I water it with gratitude. And so I speak again with holy boldness. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet, not because of luck, not because of effort, but because I have aligned with law. I have spoken truth. I have released faith, and I have let go of fear. I no longer ask, how shall I afford? I say, how shall I not, when God is my source? I no longer say, this is too much. I say, this is already covered by unseen supply, for the Lord is my banker. The Holy Spirit is my financial counselor. The Christ within is my abundance. The Word is my deposit. The tithe is my opening. The praise is my proof. The wallet is the ground, and my speech is the seed. The harvest is inevitable. Everywhere I go, my wallet is radiating supply. It draws to me divine appointments, divine compensation, divine increase. It is not I who must chase the money. It is the money that now seeks me, for I am the one who has spoken the word, and the word has gone forth and will not return void. And so I end this section with repetition that seals the vibration into your very soul. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. This is the truth. This is the law. This is the unfolding. And none of these things move me. The word has gone forth. The magnetism has been set. The law has been activated. And I say again with full authority, my wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. The law does not forget. The field does not sleep. The universe does not ignore the one who speaks from alignment. Every utterance spoken in truth returns multiplied. Every blessing placed upon your wallet shall press outward until it touches the very corners of your life. I now anchor this truth into the depths of your being. You are not separate from supply. You are one with it. There is no delay in divine mind. There is no distance in spirit. The moment you speak the word, it is heard. The moment you bless the wallet, it is filled. The moment you release fear, the floodgates of provision open. You need not strive. You need not beg. You need only to believe, to speak, and to rest in the faith that the law is already working on your behalf. I declare now to all who listen, your wallet is a spiritual magnet for divine increase. Let the illusion of lack be dissolved. Let the lie of limitation be silenced. Let the fear of not enough be cast into the outer darkness where it cannot return. For your truth is abundance. Your truth is overflow. Your truth is that of the righteous, and it is written, the righteous shall flourish like the palm tree, and in famine they shall be satisfied. Speak it now with me. My wallet is never empty. My wallet is never lacking. My wallet is never forgotten. My wallet is a beacon of wealth, drawing all forms of good toward me by divine right. I give thanks for the unseen hands that guide provision. I give thanks for the perfect timing of spirit. I give thanks that everything I need is already moving toward me now. The supply is not coming, it is here. The riches are not delayed, they are unfolding. The wallet is not idle, it is active, charged, vibrating with the energy of expectancy and fulfillment. I no longer look at it with worry. I look at it with praise. I no longer open it with fear. I open it with faith. I no longer carry it in lack. I carry it in certainty. For I know what I have spoken. I know the law I have invoked. I know the truth I have declared. And so I close this spiritual journey with the power of repetition, the sacred seal of spoken command. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. My wallet attracts wealth like a magnet. I speak it, I believe it, I receive it. The field has heard me. The law is exact, the supply is secure, and my word does not return void. I rest in divine order. I rejoice in divine provision. I walk in divine magnetism, and none of these things move me.
Every life is shaped and molded by the words spoken into it, whether those words rise from one's own lips or echo through the atmosphere from others. Words are not idle sounds, they are living currents, vibrating with the power of creation. A word is a seed, small in form but infinite in potential, and no seed once sown can fail to bring forth after its kind. To understand this is to take hold of the very lever by which destiny is moved. For as surely as the farmer who plants wheat cannot expect thorns, so the soul that plants words of faith and riches cannot reap poverty or fear. Most people speak carelessly, as though words were feathers tossed into the wind, light and inconsequential. Yet each syllable has substance. It takes form in the unseen before it appears in the visible. We are always sowing, always creating, always writing the script of our lives with the utterances we allow to pass our lips. A complaint here, a declaration of lack there, and the soil of the subconscious receives it without question, as a faithful servant carrying out a master's command. The law does not discriminate between jest or earnestness, between ignorance or wisdom. It simply brings forth that which is spoken. There are those who say, I do not believe words matter. It is action that counts. Yet action is only the body of the word. The word is the spirit that animates action. No deed can come forth without first being conceived in thought and shaped in speech. To say, I can, sets unseen forces to work in your behalf. To say, I cannot, halts them as though a door has been slammed shut. One word opens the path, the other blocks it. That is why the Master declared, by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. He knew the law and sought to impress it upon every listener. Think for a moment of the child learning to speak. Each new word becomes a doorway to experience. To name an object is to claim it in consciousness. To say light is to perceive brightness. To say mother is to call forth love and safety. As the child grows, the vocabulary of life enlarges, and so too does the field of possible experience. In the same way, when a soul learns to speak words of truth and abundance, life enlarges to match the higher vocabulary. To introduce reaches, health, peace, victory into daily speech is to introduce them into daily reality. But what of those who have spoken wrongly for years, who have sown a field of weeds and now find themselves surrounded by lack? Must they remain bound to their careless harvest? No, for the mercies of the law are new every morning. A single right word spoken in faith begins the clearing away of error. Just as a lamp instantly banishes darkness, so the spoken word of truth begins to dissolve the accumulated results of false speech. The power of transformation lies not in the past, but in the present declaration. Consider the one who constantly says, I never have enough. The subconscious obediently reproduces the condition of insufficiency, arranging circumstances so that wages fall short, bills increase, and opportunities pass by unseen. Yet let that same one awaken to the law and begin to affirm, my supply is endless and ever-present, and a reversal begins. Channels open, work comes forth, and the habit of lack dissolves as mist before the rising sun. It is not chance, it is not fortune, it is the law responding to the right word. Words are the tools by which the invisible is shaped into the visible. They are like chisels in the hands of the sculptor. The block of marble, before you may appear rough and unyielding, yet with steady strokes it becomes a figure of beauty. So too the conditions of life may appear hard and immovable, yet every word spoken in faith chips away at the stone, revealing the divine design that has always lain within. Without the chisel, the statue remains hidden. Without the word, the riches remain unformed. The ancient sages declared, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This is not poetry alone but revelation. Creation itself unfolded by the spoken command, let there be light. The universe did not stumble into being, it was called forth. If man is made in the image and likeness of the Creator, then he too possesses the faculty of calling forth by the word. When he says, let there be abundance, and believes, abundance is set in motion. When he says, let there be harmony, harmony begins to unfold. He need not toil endlessly in the outer, for his speech is the unseen labor that brings results. Therefore, to guard one's words is to guard one's future. To bless rather than to curse, to affirm rather than to deny, to speak riches rather than poverty. This is the first step on the path of manifestation. For riches do not follow toil alone, nor do they follow chance. Riches follow the right word. The law of the spoken word is not hidden in mystery. It is simple, exact, and unfailing. Every word spoken sets vibration in motion. Those vibrations move into the unseen substance of life, and from that substance form takes shape. Man is never without a tool, never without a creative instrument, for his very tongue is the rod of authority. When you say, I am strong, strength begins to marshal itself on your behalf. When you say, I am weak, weakness hastens to fulfill your decree. One word lifts, another word lowers. One word opens doors, another shuts them tight. You may think you are simply talking, passing the time with idle chatter. But the law does not hear casualness, it only hears command. It receives your words as orders, and it carries them out with precision. Look about you, and you will see that no condition comes uninvited. Poverty does not stumble into a life by accident. Sickness does not settle in without a cause. They have been called, perhaps unconsciously, by words of fear, words of complaint, words of doubt. A man who forever says, "Money slips through my fingers," will surely watch it slip away. A woman who continually declares, "I take every cold that comes around," will find her body obeying the suggestion. The word spoken is law fulfilled. Yet the same power that binds is the power that frees. The very law that answers the wrong decree with lack and limitation will answer the right decree with health, abundance, and peace. This is the glory of spiritual law. It is impartial. It does not weigh your worthiness, nor does it measure your past. It simply reflects your present word. The question then is not whether the law will work for you. The question is, what are you commanding with your lips this very day? Consider the river. It flows steadily, seeking its level. Place a stone in its path and the current does not cease. It simply moves around the obstacle. So it is with the law. Your negative word may place obstacles in the current of good, yet the river still flows. Remove the stone with the right word, and the waters of abundance rush in unhindered. The supply was always there. It is your decree that determines whether the channel is blocked or open. Some imagine that long prayers and complicated rituals are needed to move the hand of God. But life responds not to length of speech, but to alignment of speech. One word of truth spoken in faith carries more weight than 1,000 words of fear. The centurion said, "Speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed." He understood the law. He knew that the spoken word, rightly charged with authority, carried the full power of healing. So it is with riches. To say, "I prosper," when appearances shout otherwise, is to set a greater law into operation. The seen yields to the unseen. Conditions bend before conviction. The outer must eventually conform to the decree of the inner. It is not wishing, it is commanding. It is not begging, it is declaring. For the word is seed, and every seed contains its harvest. Perhaps you have heard someone protest, "But I must speak what I see. I cannot call myself rich when my purse is empty." That would be untrue. Yet faith speaks not of what is seen but of what is promised. The gardener does not deny the barren earth. He plants his seed and declares a harvest. He says, "This ground shall yield wheat," though the soil looks bare. He speaks in alignment with the law of growth, and the law fulfills his word. In the same manner, to speak of riches when lack appears is not falsehood, it is truth on its way to manifestation. Therefore watch well your words. Do not permit your lips to speak what you would not welcome into your life. Guard against complaint, for it breeds more to complain of. Resist the temptation of self-pity, for it invites more cause for sorrow. Instead, fill your mouth with decrees of good. Say, "I walk in divine supply. My path drips with abundance. Riches follow me because I speak the right word." Such affirmations, repeated with conviction, become the very fabric of your experience. The law of the spoken word is as sure as the sunrise. Whether you believe it or not, it is working. Whether you ignore it or employ it, it is working. Therefore, the wise do not speak carelessly. They do not throw words about as idle ornaments. They speak with intention, knowing that every utterance is a seed, every seed is a harvest, and every harvest shapes the destiny of their lives. And so I say again, riches do not come by accident, nor by toil alone, nor by chance. Riches follow the right word, and the right word spoken in faith never fails to bring forth after its kind. There is a difference between words that are idle and words that are right. Many imagine that because they chatter endlessly, they are safe, for what harm could such common words do? But let me tell you, every word is a seed, and some seeds bring forth thorns, while others bring forth roses. The soil of the subconscious does not ask whether the seed is good or bad. It only brings forth after its kind. Therefore, the wise soul learns to plant only the right seed, only the right word. What then is the right word? It is the word aligned with truth. It is the word spoken in harmony with the divine order of the universe. It is the word that carries faith rather than fear, abundance rather than lack, life rather than death. The right word is never careless, never doubting, never crooked. It is straight, clear, and certain. When the lips declare it, the whole of heaven and earth hasten to obey. The wrong word is equally powerful, but in the opposite direction. To declare, "I am tired," again and again, is to drain the body of strength. To say, Nothing ever works out for me is to command the law to arrange disappointments. The wrong word binds, the right word liberates. The wrong word closes doors, the right word swings them wide. You may think you are describing your condition when you say, I am poor, but in truth you are decreeing more poverty. You may think you are venting when you say, I am unlucky, but you are fastening misfortune to your path. That is why it is written, let the weak say, I am strong. Why? Because the weak man who says, I am strong, begins to draw upon the strength of the infinite. He is not lying, he is aligning. He is not pretending, he is proclaiming. And the law, impartial and unfailing, begins to rebuild his life according to that word. The power of right speech is not in volume but in vibration. A whisper of truth carries more authority than a shout of fear. A single affirmation of abundance, spoken with faith, outweighs 1,000 complaints of lack. Do not imagine that many words are needed. One word, rightly chosen, rightly believed, rightly spoken, is enough to turn the tide of a life. Let me give you an image. Picture a key. It is small, it is simple, yet when placed into the lock it opens what no amount of pushing or forcing could move. The right word is that key. You may strive with effort, you may labor with worry, and still the door of abundance stays closed. But speak the right word, calm, steady, full of faith, and the door swings open as though it had been waiting for you all along. Every soul must therefore become a watchman at the gate of speech. Before you let a word pass your lips, ask yourself, is this a right word? Is it aligned with the life I desire, or is it chained to the life I would leave behind? Is it pulling me forward into abundance, or backward into want? If it is not the right word, do not let it pass, for every utterance goes forth as a messenger, and it will return bearing fruit. Do not underestimate the power of even casual speech. Many say, oh, I was only joking, when they declare lack or failure, but the law does not laugh. The law does not jest. The law fulfills. Every word, whether spoken in play or in earnest, carries its vibration into the substance of life. That is why the wise man fills his mouth with blessing, with gratitude, with prosperity, with health. His very casual words carry seeds of life, and so his harvest is good. Begin, then, to train your tongue. Let it become accustomed to right speech. Replace complaint with thanksgiving. Replace doubt with affirmation. Replace fear with faith. Say, I am guided. I am prospered. I am supplied. Do not wait for appearances to change before you speak the right word. Speak the right word, and appearances will change. The power of right speech is the power of creation itself. It shapes the unseen into the seen. It takes the formless and gives it form. It calls into being that which had no existence in the outer world until it was spoken. You may hold a vision in your mind. You may nurse a dream in your heart, but until it is clothed in words, it remains unborn. The right word is the breath that gives life to the dream. So guard your lips, for they hold the keys to your kingdom. Do not waste your inheritance on words of lack and limitation. Speak life, speak truth, speak abundance. For every right word spoken in faith builds a path, and upon that path riches will surely follow. An affirmation is not a wish. It is not a timid hope whispered into the wind. An affirmation is a decree, a spiritual command issued with the authority of one who knows his divine inheritance. It is the word of man joined with the power of God, and no such word returns void. When you affirm, you do not beg, you do not plead, you do not wonder. You command, for you are speaking in alignment with eternal law. Let no one confuse affirmations with mere positive thinking. A positive thought without faith is like a lamp without oil. It promises light but offers none. But when faith fills the heart, and the right word is spoken, the lamp is lit, and darkness flees. An affirmation is not made strong by repetition alone, it is made strong by conviction. 10,000 hollow words cannot equal one word spoken in faith. Hear me well when you affirm. You are not trying to create something that does not exist. You are aligning with what already is in the unseen. Abundance exists now. Health exists now. Peace exists now. They are present in the great storehouse of spirit, waiting for your recognition. Your affirmation is the key that unlocks the storehouse. By it, you claim what is already yours. Suppose a king's treasury is filled with gold. His subjects live in poverty, only because they do not enter to claim their portion. The king does not withhold it, he has already decreed it theirs. But they must step into the treasury and take hold. So it is with affirmations. They are the stepping into the treasury. When you say, I am abundantly supplied, you are not fabricating riches, you are drawing upon what heaven has already provided. Consider the power of the simplest affirmation, I am. These two words carry creation within them. Whatever you attach to I am, you invite into your life. Say, I am weak, and weakness hurries in. Say, I am strong, and strength rallies around you. Say, I am poor, and poverty answers the call. Say, I am rich, and riches begin their march toward your path. Guard well what follows, I am, for it is the most powerful decree a soul can utter. Now, let us clothe these truths in living words. Say with me, I am divinely supplied. My supply is endless, inexhaustible, and immediate. Riches come to me in perfect order, through channels of divine selection. I am guided to right opportunities, and all that is mine by divine right now flows to me with ease and joy. Speak it not as a hope, not as a dream, but as a decree. Feel the authority of it. Let your whole being bear witness that it is so. Another, I walk in health and strength. Every cell of my body is radiant with life. I am renewed, restored, revitalized. The law of perfect health governs me, and every organ, every function, every nerve responds to divine harmony. Do you feel the difference? You are not begging health to come, you are commanding health to manifest. And again, I am surrounded by peace. Nothing can disturb the calm of my spirit. Harmony reigns in my mind, in my home, in my affairs. Divine order governs all that concerns me. Say it, and the very atmosphere begins to shift. For words spoken in faith move not only within you, but around you, arranging circumstances, drawing people, opening doors. You may ask, but must I repeat these affirmations daily? Yes, as the farmer waters his seed daily. Repetition is not vain when it is done with faith. Each time you affirm, you are watering the soil of the subconscious, strengthening the roots, hastening the harvest. But let each affirmation be alive, not dull. Do not mumble as though reading from a list. Speak with fire, speak with conviction. Speak as one who knows that heaven is backing every word. Affirmations are spiritual commands, and commands are not questioned. When the officer gives an order, the soldiers obey. When the captain speaks, the ship turns. When the master calls, the servant runs. So too with life. The law does not argue. It does not hesitate. It fulfills. Therefore, speak your affirmations with the tone of command, not of uncertainty. Do not say, I hope to prosper. Say, I prosper now. Do not say, I wish for health. Say, I am health now. For the universe hears your word and hastens to obey. Every affirmation is a decree stamped upon the substance of life. The stronger the faith, the swifter the manifestation. Therefore, learn the holy art of right affirmations. Let your lips declare the truth until your whole being vibrates with it. Then watch as heaven and earth conspire to bring it forth. Remember always your affirmations are not requests. They are commands spoken in divine authority, and every command, when aligned with truth, brings riches, health, peace, and joy in perfect and appointed ways. Riches are not the privilege of the few, nor the accident of the fortunate. Riches are the divine right of every soul, for man was created in the image of a limitless creator. To think otherwise is to believe a lie. Poverty is not holiness, nor is lack a sign of virtue. The universe is abundant, overflowing, inexhaustible, and you are heir to its supply. To live in want, when riches are your birthright, is to live beneath your inheritance. Look upon nature and see the evidence. The earth does not stint itself. The trees do not bear a single leaf and call it enough. They clothe themselves in thousands upon thousands. The fields do not produce a solitary blade of grass, but a carpet thick and full. The ocean does not give a drop but waves in endless succession. If creation is lavish, how can the child of the Creator be destined for meagerness? It is false belief, not divine decree, that holds a man in want. Yet when I speak of riches, let it be known that I mean more than coins in the purse or figures on a ledger. True riches are health of body, peace of mind, love in the heart, joy in the spirit, and supply for every good work. Money alone, without these, is but dust. But when money flows in harmony with health, love, and peace, it becomes a channel for good, a tool for blessing, a servant of the soul. Do not confuse riches with greed. Greed grasps, riches flow. Greed hoards, riches circulate. Greed breeds fear. Riches bring freedom. The law of riches is the law of circulation. As the blood must move through the body to bring life, so wealth must move through your hands to bless. To give is to keep the current alive. To withhold in fear is to clog the stream and invite stagnation. Therefore, claim your riches boldly, not for selfish gain but for divine expression. Say, I am rich in order to bless. I prosper in order to give. I receive in order to pour forth. Many shrink back from such affirmations, saying, but I am not worthy. Others may have abundance, but not I. To that I answer, worthiness is not earned, it is inherited. A child does not earn the right to sit at his father's table, he sits because he is a child. So it is with you. You are a child of the infinite. The table is set, the feast prepared, the portion waiting. Your worthiness is established by your birth in spirit. It is unbelief that blinds the eyes, fear that binds the hands, doubt that shuts the door. But the moment you declare, riches are my divine right, the shackles fall. For truth always sets free. Poverty is bondage, but abundance is liberty. Lack is limitation, but supply is expansion. When you know that riches are your right, you cease to beg and begin to command. You stop envying and start affirming. You no longer grasp at shadows, for you stand in the sunlight of truth. Let me give you an image. Imagine a man standing before a great orchard. The trees are heavy with fruit, the branches bending under the weight of apples, pears, and figs. Yet he stands outside the fence, saying, I dare not enter. Perhaps the fruit is not for me. Perhaps I am not allowed. So he hungers while plenty surrounds him. But the truth is this, the orchard belongs to him. The gate is open. The fruit is his portion. All that is required is that he step inside and gather. Such is the folly of those who live in lack while riches abound. They have only to claim their inheritance, and the feast is theirs. Therefore declare daily, I claim my divine right to abundance. I do not shrink back in fear, nor do I doubt my inheritance. Riches are mine by right of consciousness, by right of creation, by right of divine law. As you speak, the law responds. Doors open, channels appear, supply flows, and you find yourself walking in the reality of that which you once only affirmed. Do not despise small beginnings. Perhaps today you see but a trickle. Give thanks for it, bless it, and affirm more. The trickle becomes a stream, the stream becomes a river, the river becomes an ocean. Riches do not arrive as a thunderbolt, but as a steady, unfolding manifestation. Each right word spoken in faith enlarges the flow until your life overflows with good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Yes, riches are your divine right. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Not for another, but for you. The law has no favorites. It answers to faith, not to faces. And the one who dares to speak the right word, to affirm his inheritance, to command his supply, will find that heaven and earth move to bring it forth. Truth is best seen in demonstration. A law may sound lofty when spoken, but when it is lived and proved, the heart grasps it and the mind cannot deny it. So let me give you examples, for stories carry the seed of faith into the soil of imagination, where reason alone may fail to plant it. There was once a woman who came to me in despair. She said, I have prayed, I have worked, I have begged heaven to supply my needs, but my purse remains empty, and bills press me on every side. I asked her, what words do you speak daily? She answered, I am always saying I cannot afford this, I cannot pay that. I confess constantly that I am poor. Then I said to her, you are not confessing poverty, you are commanding it. You are not describing lack, you are decreeing it. Change your words, and you will change your life. I gave her the affirmation, I am abundantly supplied. Money comes to me in unexpected ways. My purse is filled, my bank account grows, and I always have plenty to spare and to share. At first she resisted, saying, but it is not true. How can I speak abundance when I see only lack? I said, you are not speaking of appearances. You are speaking of truth. Appearances change, truth does not. Speak the truth until the appearances yield. She obeyed, though with trembling. Each day she declared her supply. Each day she planted the seed. Within a fortnight she received a letter from a relative long forgotten, enclosing a sum of money owed to her late husband years before. Other channels opened. Work was offered. Opportunities multiplied. In less than 3 months her despair had turned into rejoicing, and she said to me, "I see now that riches truly follow the right word." Another came, a man weary of illness. He said, "I am always sick, always weak, always failing." I asked, "Why do you tell yourself so?" He replied, "Because it is the truth." I answered, "No, it is the lie of appearances. The truth is health, strength, and life. You are aligning with sickness by your words. Align with health, and health will answer." I gave him this affirmation: I am life. I am strength. Every cell of my body radiates divine vitality. I am renewed, restored, revitalized. The law of perfect health governs me. He scoffed at first, but desperation moved him to try. He repeated it morning and night, and whenever fear of weakness overtook him, slowly his strength returned. Slowly his body responded. Within the year he was walking in health, where once he had dragged himself in sickness. Again, the law proved true. The right word brings the right manifestation. Even children demonstrate this law with purity, for their hearts are not yet hardened by doubt. I recall a little girl whose mother feared she would fail her lessons. The child had overheard her mother say, "She is slow, she cannot learn, she will fall behind." Those words were binding the child's mind. But I taught the mother to change her speech and affirm, "My child is quick, intelligent, and divinely guided in her studies." The mother obeyed, and soon the child's learning blossomed. Words had shackled her, and words had set her free. Do you see the pattern? The law does not waver. Whether it is money, health, work, or learning, the spoken word brings forth its kind. Wrong words bind, right words liberate. Wrong words starve, right words feed. Wrong words darken, right words illumine. The scriptures are filled with parables to teach this very law. Did not the Israelites complain in the wilderness, saying, "We are but grasshoppers, and the giants shall devour us"? And what they spoke they received. Their words bound them, and they wandered in lack. Yet Joshua and Caleb declared, "We are well able," and their words opened the way to the promised land. 2 words of faith outweighed a multitude of words of fear. And is it not written that the widow spoke her need to the prophet, and her pot of oil did not fail? Her words aligned with supply, and supply met her. Words opened the way, and the law of abundance fulfilled itself. So I say to you, learn from these examples. Do not wait for appearances to shift before you speak the right word. Speak, and appearances will shift. Do not argue with the soil, plant the seed. Do not wrestle with the darkness, light the lamp. Do not beg for abundance, affirm it. For every story, ancient or modern, proves the same riches, health, peace, and joy follow the right word. Now that you have heard, you are no longer as those who walk in darkness. You know the law, and the law is simple: words build, words bind, words bless, and words break. You cannot say, "It is only speech." No, speech is seed, and seed is destiny. Therefore, choose this day what harvest you will reap. You hold within your mouth the power of life and death. You hold upon your tongue the key to the storehouse of heaven. With your lips you may decree lack, or with your lips you may decree abundance. With your lips you may call forth sorrow, or with your lips you may summon joy. Every morning, when you rise, the law waits for your word. Every night, when you lie down, the law fulfills what you have spoken. The law does not sleep, the law does not slumber. It is working always, shaping, forming, manifesting. Therefore, I charge you, speak only the right word. Let no idle complaint pass your lips. Let no fearful whisper escape your mouth. Cast from you the language of poverty, the language of sickness, the language of despair. Replace it with the language of faith, the language of abundance, the language of health, the language of victory. Let your words be wands of power, not chains of bondage. Say daily, "I am abundantly supplied." Say hourly, "I prosper in all my ways." Say continually, "I am health, I am strength, I am peace, I am joy." Do not weary in repeating these affirmations. For every time you speak them, you strike another blow against the wall of limitation. Every time you declare them, you open another channel for supply. Every time you affirm them, You call forth another angel of abundance to minister to you. Do not measure by appearances. Appearances are shadows. The word is substance. Appearances change. The word endures. Appearances deceive. The word is truth. If you see lack, do not speak it. Speak abundance, and lack will vanish. If you see sickness, do not claim it. Speak health, and sickness will dissolve. If you see failure, do not bow to it. Speak success, and success will rise to meet you. The right word conquers every false appearance. And do not say, I have tried, and nothing has happened. The seed once sown does not spring up in an instant. It lies hidden, it takes root, it pushes through the soil, and then it bears fruit. The farmer does not dig up the seed each morning to see if it grows. He waters, he waits, he trusts the law of growth. So with your affirmations, do not uproot them with doubt. Do not cancel them with contradictory speech. Speak them, water them with faith, and wait for their harvest. The law cannot fail. Remember, you are not a beggar in the house of God. You are an heir. You are not a servant groveling for scraps. You are a child seated at the Father's table. All that is His is yours, and all that is yours is spoken into being by your word. Riches are not withheld from you. They are waiting for your claim. Health is not withheld from you. It is waiting for your affirmation. Peace is not withheld from you. It is waiting for your decree. So rise in faith. Lift your voice with authority. Speak as one who knows the truth, not as one who doubts. Speak as one who commands, not as one who begs. Speak as one who reigns, not as one who fears. And as you speak, know that heaven moves, the earth responds, and the law fulfills. For riches do not follow toil alone. Riches do not follow chance. Riches do not follow fear. Riches follow the right word.
Beloved, health is your divine birthright. From the moment you were breathed into existence, the Creator placed within you the seed of perfect vitality. A radiant, self-renewing life force that knows only harmony, strength, and beauty. The body you live in is not an accident, nor is it a burden. It is the temple of the living Spirit, fashioned to serve you as a perfect instrument for joy. Yet many have been taught to believe that health is something to chase, to earn, or to plead for. They fear sickness as if it were stronger than the power that made them. They look to conditions, reports, and appearances, forgetting that the invisible governs the visible, and that every cell of the body listens to the words we speak in the quiet of our own hearts. As you lay down tonight, you are entering the most fertile ground for renewal, the gateway between waking and sleeping, where the conscious mind releases its grip and the subconscious becomes tender, open soil. What you plant there will grow without resistance. If you plant worry, the harvest will be unrest. But if you plant words of life, your harvest will be radiant health. You need not struggle for this healing. You need not force it or make it happen. Healing is not a conquest. It is the natural state that emerges when the mind and spirit are aligned with truth. The truth is simple: you are already whole. Your body is constantly listening to the divine blueprint within you, and that blueprint holds only the pattern of perfect health. Tonight, as you drift into sleep, you are allowing the old patterns of fear, weakness, and fatigue to dissolve like mist in the morning sun. In their place, a new rhythm takes root, the rhythm of harmony. Every breath you take is an affirmation of life. Every beat of your heart is a reminder of your connection to the infinite. Even as you sleep, the cells of your body rejoice in this truth. They respond to the voice of spirit, which says, "Be renewed." Your subconscious mind receives this message and works through the night to bring your body into balance. Pain is eased. Strength is restored. Vitality flows freely. You awaken not to a fight for health, but to the quiet knowing that you are health. You rise not with the weight of yesterday's burdens, but with the freshness of a soul that remembers who it is. You carry this wellness into the day, not as a fragile condition to protect, but as an unshakable reality to express. So now, dear one, let every word that follows sink deep into your heart. Let it wash over your thoughts and wrap you in peace. You are safe, you are loved, you are whole. And as you close your eyes, you step into the truth that will greet you with the morning light. You are waking in health. Health is your divine birthright, given to you from the very moment life itself was breathed into your being, not as a reward to be earned, nor as a privilege to be negotiated for, but as a fundamental and unshakable fact of your existence. Before you knew the meaning of the word health, before you could name a single part of your body, the great creative power had already woven into the fabric of your being the perfect pattern of life, harmony, and vitality. This perfect pattern is the divine blueprint upon which your body is built, and it is eternal, unchanging, and untouched by the illusions of sickness or weakness. It is the original mold from which every cell, tissue, and organ takes its instructions. A mold that cannot be altered by fear, doubt, or even the opinions of the world, unless you yourself accept those opinions into your consciousness. To say that health is your birthright is to say that it is not something outside of you, to be fetched from distant places or wrestled from reluctant circumstances. It is to say that health is already present, a constant reality that flows through your blood, shines through your eyes, and breathes through your lungs, regardless of how much the surface appearance may seem to contradict it. Many live as though health is a scarce commodity, granted to some and withheld from others, dependent on the favor of luck, chance, or external conditions. But these beliefs come from a world that has forgotten the inner law, the law that says every living thing is sustained by the life of the infinite, and the infinite is whole, complete, and perfect. The rose in the garden does not plead for the right to bloom, nor does the bird in the sky apply for permission to sing. They simply express what they are, because their nature is already aligned with the source of their life. So it is with you. Your body is not your enemy, nor is it a fragile structure at the mercy of every wind of change in the physical world. It is a perfect servant of the mind and spirit, an instrument created to manifest the harmony of your inner life into visible form. If it has taken on symptoms of disorder, it is not because the divine pattern has been destroyed, it is because the pattern has been temporarily obscured by the fog of false beliefs, fear, or the acceptance of conditions as final. Just as clouds can hide the sun without diminishing its light, so contemporary appearances conceal, but never destroy, the truth of your health. When the fog lifts, the sun is as radiant as ever. When fear is dissolved and truth is accepted, the body responds with vitality as naturally as a flower turns toward the light. To claim health as your divine birthright is to reject the belief that you are a victim of your body or its circumstances. It is to know that the same power that created you continues to sustain you, and that this power does not weaken, diminish, or forget its own creation. This knowing is not merely a hopeful wish. It is a living law. Just as gravity holds you to the earth without your conscious effort, so does the law of life sustain your health without strain or struggle. The more you align your thoughts, feelings, and words with this truth, the more easily your body takes on the expression of that alignment. Health, then, is not something to fight for. It is something to allow, to accept, to express, and to embody without resistance. The world may present 1,000 reasons why you should fear for your health reports, statistics, warnings, and examples of those who have suffered. But none of these can alter the eternal fact of your divine origin. You are not merely a collection of organs and systems, you are the living expression of infinite life, and life cannot be divided against itself. In the silence of your own soul, you can feel this truth. It may come as a gentle warmth in the heart, as a still voice reminding you, you are whole, or as a deep calm that settles over you like sunlight on still waters. This inner witness cannot be silenced by outward conditions unless you choose to believe in the conditions more than in the truth. From birth, the life force has been flowing through you without interruption. You do not need to command your heart to beat or your lungs to draw breath. These are the automatic expressions of the life within you. In the same way, the processes that maintain, renew, and restore your body are constant, guided by intelligence beyond the conscious mind. This intelligence, which is the same creative power that shaped the stars and the seas, holds the perfect memory of your health and works ceaselessly to bring the body into harmony with that memory. Your part is not to force it, but to trust it, to keep your mind clear of fear, and to feed your inner vision with images of vitality rather than decay. When you accept that health is your birthright, you cease to live in anticipation of illness, and you stop making agreements with limitations that were never meant to belong to you. You understand that what you consent to in thought, you invite into your life, and so you no longer consent to images of yourself as weak, frail, or prone to decline. Instead, you see yourself as life sees you, radiant, strong, and vibrant, filled with energy that flows from an inexhaustible source. This is not denial of the physical. It is the recognition that the physical is an effect, and the cause is always in the unseen realm of spirit and thought. Every time you affirm this truth, you are watering the seed of health that was planted in you from the very beginning. You are reminding every cell of its divine instruction. You are opening the door to the healing forces that are always seeking to work through you. And just as a garden responds to the sun and rain with inevitable growth, so does your body respond to the nourishment of truth with inevitable restoration. Even in moments when you feel weary or unwell, the truth remains untouched. Health is not something you lost. It is something waiting beneath the surface for your recognition. By living from this understanding, you place yourself in harmony with the law of life, and in that harmony there is no struggle, no grasping, no desperate pleading. Only the steady, peaceful knowing that what has been yours from the first moment of life is still yours now and forever. Health, as your divine birthright, is not given in pieces or measured in degrees. It is whole, it is perfect, and it is yours because you are an expression of the very source of life itself. It does not diminish with age, nor does it retreat in the presence of challenges, for it is eternal, and eternity does not waver. Would you like me to now do the same 1,000-word expansion for keynote no. 2 in the exact same tone so it flows as one continuous piece? The subconscious mind shapes the body because it is the silent architect that receives every image, every belief, and every word you impress upon it, and translates these impressions into the physical form and condition of your being. While the conscious mind acts as the gatekeeper, filtering and choosing thoughts, it is the subconscious that accepts those thoughts as blueprints and begins the quiet work of construction. It does not question, it does not argue, it does not reason, it simply takes the materials you provide and builds accordingly. If you feed it fear, it will shape the body in ways that reflect fear's constriction, tension, and disorder. If you feed it images of vitality, harmony, and strength, it will fashion the body to express those qualities in visible form. This is why the body responds so directly to emotional states and mental habits. When you dwell in anxiety, your muscles tighten, your breathing becomes shallow, your digestion slows, and your energy diminishes. Not because the body has betrayed you, but because the subconscious has been given instructions to prepare for imagined danger. In the same way, when you dwell in peace, gratitude, and joy, the body relaxes, circulation improves, and healing processes accelerate, because the subconscious has been given a different set of instructions to nourish, restore, and sustain. Every thought is an order, every image a command, and the subconscious obeys without hesitation. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. If you vividly picture yourself in a state of weakness, the subconscious accepts it as a present fact and begins to adjust the body to match. If you vividly picture yourself glowing with health, the subconscious accepts that as truth as well and sets in motion all the processes necessary to bring that picture into form. This is why mental imagery and affirmations have such profound effects on physical conditions. They are the language the subconscious understands. You cannot simply wish for health while filling your inner vision with pictures of illness and expect the subconscious to ignore the contradiction. It will always manifest the dominant impression, whether or not it is what you consciously desire. Many people unknowingly impress the subconscious with harmful images, by the way they speak and think about their bodies. Words like, "I'm always tired," "I catch everything," or "I'm getting old and worn out," are taken by the subconscious as exact blueprints. It hears these statements as commands to weaken energy, lower defenses, and accelerate decline. The more these words are repeated, the more deeply they become rooted, and the body begins to reflect them with unfailing accuracy. Conversely, when you speak words of life such as, "I am strong," "I am radiant," and "I am in perfect health," the subconscious accepts these as orders to strengthen vitality, repair tissues, and align the body with the image of wholeness. The repetition of truth builds new patterns in the subconscious, and those patterns become the new reality in the body. The subconscious mind is always active, even when you are asleep, which is why the thoughts and feelings you dwell upon before rest are so important. As the conscious mind grows quiet, the subconscious becomes more receptive, taking in the last impressions of the day and working on them through the night. If you fill your mind with worry or fear before sleep, the subconscious will continue to process those fears in ways that affect the body's repair and renewal. But if you fill your mind with images of perfect health, ease, and joy, the subconscious will work to imprint those conditions in every cell, fiber, and function of your being. This silent power has no limits of time or age. It does not matter how long you have lived with a certain condition, or how deeply it has been ingrained. The moment a new pattern is consistently impressed upon the subconscious, the process of change begins. The body is remarkably adaptable, constantly renewing itself, and every renewal is guided by the instructions it receives from the subconscious. New cells are formed every day, and each one takes its design from the mental blueprint held within. By consciously shaping that blueprint, you influence not just your present condition, but the condition you will have in the future. The subconscious also responds strongly to emotion. A statement made without feeling has little power, but a statement charged with belief, gratitude, and certainty carries great weight. When you visualize health and truly feel the joy, freedom, and strength of that vision, the subconscious takes it as a living reality and sets all systems in motion to match that emotional state. This is why gratitude for health, even before it appears in full form, is so potent. It impresses the subconscious with the conviction that health is already yours, and the body responds accordingly. The connection between the subconscious and the body is not mystical guesswork, it is evident in everyday life. Blushing at an embarrassing thought, trembling at a fearful one, or smiling involuntarily at a joyful one are all examples of the body instantly reflecting the contents of the mind. These are small but visible demonstrations of a constant process happening beneath the surface. What you hold in mind long enough becomes not just a fleeting reaction, but a sustained state, and the body faithfully mirrors that state over time. This is the principle by which chronic conditions are both created and healed. When you become aware of this law, you no longer allow random or destructive thoughts to move unchallenged into the subconscious. You begin to guard the gateway of the mind, letting in only those impressions you wish to see made manifest in the body. You train yourself to turn away from conversations, images, and reports that feed fear, replacing them with affirmations, mental pictures, and feelings that feed life. This is not about denying reality, but about choosing which reality you will energize and build upon. The physical world is the result, not the cause, and by working directly with the cause, the subconscious mind, you can alter the result in ways that seem remarkable to those who do not understand the process. It is also important to realize that the subconscious is influenced not only by your own thoughts, but also by the collective beliefs of the world around you. If you accept these beliefs without examination, they become part of your mental blueprint. The belief that certain illnesses are inevitable with age, that you are powerless against hereditary conditions, or that recovery is impossible after a certain point. These are all seeds that, once planted in the subconscious, can shape the body to reflect them. But just as they can be planted, they can be uprooted. and replaced with seeds of truth that life is renewing, that every cell holds the pattern of health, and that nothing is beyond the reach of the creative power within you. Your relationship with your subconscious is ongoing and intimate. You are in constant communication with it through your self-talk, your mental images, and your habitual moods. Every moment is an opportunity to give it new instructions, to guide it gently, but firmly toward the vision of health you wish to live in. By learning to speak the language it understands, repetition, imagery, and emotion, you harness a power that is always working on your behalf, shaping your body into the physical expression of your inner world. Healing is alignment, not struggle, because the life force that created you is already perfect, complete, and whole, and it is always seeking to express that perfection through you without resistance. There is no need to fight for what is already present in its entirety. The true work is to remove the interference that blocks its expression. Many have been taught to think of healing as a battle, as if health were an elusive prize to be won through effort, tension, and relentless striving, but the very idea of struggle is itself a form of resistance. When you struggle, you affirm the presence of opposition, and what you affirm is strengthened. True healing comes not from fighting sickness, but from aligning so fully with the reality of wholeness that sickness has no place to remain. Alignment means bringing your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs into harmony with the truth of your being. Your divine blueprint holds only the pattern of health, vitality, and balance, and this pattern is never altered by temporary conditions. Illness is not the destruction of this blueprint. It is a distortion of expression caused by mental and emotional patterns that are out of harmony with it, just as a radio can be tuned to a station clearly or distorted by static. Your mind and heart can be tuned to the frequency of health or clouded by interference. The interference may be fear, resentment, self-criticism, or the acceptance of limiting beliefs about the body. These are not enemies to be fought, but signals to be released, so that the pure broadcast of health may come through without distortion. The idea that healing requires strain is rooted in the belief that you are separate from your source, that you must somehow reach for what is far away. In truth, you are never separate from the life force. It flows through you every moment, animating every cell and function. Just as a river flows naturally when unblocked, so does vitality flow naturally when the channels of mind and spirit are clear. You do not need to push the river, nor do you need to create the current. You need only remove the stones and debris that slow its movement. In the realm of healing, these stones and debris are the thought patterns, emotional burdens, and inner contradictions that prevent the subconscious from fully expressing the divine pattern in the body. Struggle can even hinder the very thing you are seeking, for it keeps the body and mind in a state of tension. When you fight, you signal danger to your subconscious, which responds by activating defensive processes rather than restorative ones. Healing flourishes in an atmosphere of peace, trust, and acceptance, not in one of fear or force. The body's systems for repair and regeneration are most active when you are in a state of calm, when the nervous system is at ease and the subconscious feels safe to carry out its natural work. This is why deep relaxation, meditation, and restful sleep are so closely linked to recovery. These are states in which alignment is easiest because the conscious mind releases its grasp, and the deeper intelligence within you can operate without obstruction. Alignment is also a matter of agreement between your inner and outer worlds. When your words affirm health, but your emotions dwell in doubt, the subconscious receives mixed instructions, and the result is delay or stagnation. True alignment requires unity between what you declare, what you feel, and what you envision. You cannot plant seeds of vitality in the mind while watering them with fear and expect a strong harvest. Instead, every aspect of your inner life must point in the same direction, toward the certainty that you are whole, that the life force within you knows exactly how to restore balance, and that your only task is to allow it. One of the clearest signs that you are aligned is a sense of peace that is not dependent on the immediate disappearance of symptoms. This peace comes from knowing that the process of restoration is already underway, that the creative power is unfailing, and that you are no longer in opposition to it. You stop measuring your progress by the clock or by outward appearance alone, and instead measure it by the steadiness of your trust and the harmony of your inner state. When the mind is quiet, the body listens more clearly to the instructions of the divine blueprint, and healing follows as naturally as day follows night. Alignment also involves releasing the identification with illness. Many people unconsciously hold on to conditions because those conditions have become part of their sense of self. They speak of my arthritis, my headaches, my bad back, and in doing so, they tie the idea of the illness to their identity. The subconscious takes this identification as a directive to maintain the condition, since it has been woven into the definition of I am. To align with health, you must release these attachments and speak of yourself only in terms of the wholeness you wish to express. You shift from I have this illness to I am vibrant and whole, not as a denial of what appears in the moment, but as a declaration of the truth that overrides appearances. Alignment is a gentle returning to the original state, not a forceful pushing against what is. The body has an inherent wisdom that knows exactly what to do when given the right conditions. You see this wisdom in the way a cut heals, a bone knits, or a fever breaks without conscious direction from you. These processes are not limited to small injuries. The same intelligence governs every form of restoration, whether minor or profound. When you align your thoughts and emotions with trust in this wisdom, you create the inner climate that allows it to work without hindrance. This alignment can be cultivated through practices that quiet the conscious mind and impress the subconscious with images of perfect health. Visualization is powerful when it is felt as real in the present moment, not as something far off. When you see yourself moving freely, breathing easily, and radiating vitality, and when you feel the joy and relief of that vision, the subconscious accepts it as truth and begins to shape the body accordingly. Affirmations spoken with conviction, gratitude expressed for health as if it were already complete, and an atmosphere of love toward your own body are all ways of deepening alignment. It is also important to align with the rhythms of life itself. Rest when rest is needed, nourish the body with foods that support vitality, spend time in nature, and move in ways that bring pleasure rather than strain. These actions are not struggles to earn health, but natural expressions of harmony with life. They signal to the subconscious that you value your well-being and are cooperating with its work. The more you honor these rhythms, the more easily the life force can maintain balance and strength within you. Healing as alignment means you step out of the role of a fighter and into the role of a co-creator with the intelligence that formed you. You no longer see your body as something broken to be fixed, but as something inherently whole that is returning to its natural expression. In this space, there is no fear of relapse, no anxious scanning for signs of decline, because your focus is not on the absence of symptoms, but on the presence of life. You recognize that the power which brought you into being is still active, still perfect, and still expressing itself through every breath you take. Sleep is fertile ground for renewal, because in those hours when the conscious mind is at rest, the deeper, silent forces of life are able to work without interruption, bringing the body back into harmony with its perfect pattern. In sleep, the constant chatter of thought fades, and the gates of the subconscious open wide to receive the last impressions you placed upon them before drifting into slumber. These impressions act as seeds, and throughout the night, they are tended and nourished by the same intelligence that formed your body in the beginning. This is why the state of mind in which you fall asleep is so powerful. It is the blueprint the subconscious works from during the long, uninterrupted hours when it is most receptive. In waking life, your conscious thoughts are constantly interacting with the outer world, reacting to conditions, interpreting sensations, and often contradicting the inner truth of wholeness with doubts, fears, or negative imagery. In sleep, this interference is suspended. The conscious mind, which is the reasoning and judging part of you, steps aside, and the subconscious mind, which governs the body's functions and holds the patterns of life, takes center stage. It receives the mental and emotional climate you set before sleep and begins to shape the body accordingly. If you fall asleep with worry, that worry becomes the seed planted in the night's garden. If you fall asleep with images of perfect health, that image is planted instead, and the subconscious goes to work to express it in form. During sleep, the body's repair systems are at their peak. Cells are renewed, tissues rebuilt, hormones balanced, and energy restored. This is not random activity, it is a precise, intelligent process directed by the subconscious according to the pattern impressed upon it. Just as a gardener follows the design of the seeds planted, the subconscious follows the design of the thoughts and feelings you have accepted as truth. Sleep amplifies the effect of these impressions because it provides hours of uninterrupted focus, free from the contradictions of waking thought. This is why a single night's rest after a time of mental and emotional release can bring more visible change to the body than weeks of anxious effort. The hours before sleep are therefore a sacred time, a doorway between worlds. When you have the opportunity to deliberately choose the mental images and words you wish to take with you into the night. If you use this time to replay the day's frustrations, dwell on symptoms, or imagine the worst, you are handing those images to the most impressionable part of your mind and giving them the entire night to root themselves deeply. But if you use this time to envision yourself as whole, vibrant, and free, and to feel the emotions that would accompany that state, you are giving the subconscious a clear, positive blueprint to work from as it directs the body's renewal. Sleep also suspends the resistance that often blocks healing during the day. In waking hours, even if you affirm health and visualize wholeness, there may still be an undercurrent of doubt or a habit of checking for signs of improvement, which interrupts the process. At night, in the absence of conscious control, these interruptions are quieted. The subconscious does not second, guess, or question. It simply accepts and acts upon what it has been given. This is why many have experienced waking up after a good night's sleep to find that pain has eased, energy has returned, or clarity of mind has been restored seemingly without effort. The connection between the quality of sleep and the state of health is not just physical, but deeply mental and spiritual. The body requires rest to carry out its repair processes, but the mind requires the stillness of sleep to integrate new beliefs and dissolve old patterns. When you consciously choose thoughts of harmony before sleep, you are doing more than influencing the body. You are training the subconscious to align with the truth of your being. Over time, this alignment becomes so natural that even your waking thoughts begin to reflect the peace and confidence that were nurtured in the quiet hours of the night. The fertile nature of sleep means that what you plant just before it has a magnified effect. A single, vivid mental picture can be replayed by the subconscious thousands of times in a single night, each repetition strengthening its influence on the body. This is why it is wise to keep your final thoughts before rest simple, clear, and filled with feeling. A short affirmation of health, repeated slowly with gratitude, or a mental scene of yourself moving freely and joyfully, can serve as a seed so potent that it begins to bear fruit in your physical condition more quickly than you expect. Because the subconscious is non-judgmental and accepts whatever it is given, the responsibility lies with you to be deliberate in your nighttime impressions. If you have spent the day in negative thought, you can still choose to plant a different seed before sleep. Even a few minutes of focused visualization or spoken truth in a state of relaxation can override hours of scattered thinking. The subconscious does not measure the worth of a thought by how long it has been held, but by the clarity, repetition, and emotional charge it carries in the moment of impression. Sleep also connects you more deeply with the universal life force. In the stillness of the night, With outer senses quiet, the spirit within you can commune more freely with the source of all vitality. This communion is not always felt consciously, but its effects are seen in the renewed strength, brighter mood, and greater resilience that often follow a night of deep, peaceful rest. This connection reinforces the truth that healing is not created by you alone, but is the natural expression of the life that flows through you, guided by the infinite intelligence that knows exactly what your body needs. When you begin to see sleep not just as a physical necessity, but as a sacred opportunity to shape your health, you approach it with reverence and intentionality. You create an environment that supports relaxation, a quiet, comfortable space, free from the distractions that pull your mind into worry or agitation. You may choose to listen to words of life, soft music, or guided affirmations that help you ease into the state where your subconscious is most receptive. These practices are not mere rituals, but signals to your inner self that it is safe to release the day and enter into the fertile field of renewal. In this way, each night becomes a powerful ally in the creation of health. You no longer drift into sleep as a passive act, but as a deliberate step in the process of aligning your body with its divine blueprint. You recognize that while your conscious mind rests, the work of restoration continues at the deepest level, following faithfully the instructions you have given it. The morning then becomes not a continuation of the day before, but a fresh expression of the inner changes that have been taking place unseen through the quiet hours. You awaken already whole, because the essence of your being has never been touched by imperfection, and the life force within you has been at work through the night to restore and renew according to its perfect pattern. Wholeness is not something you acquire in the morning, it is something you recognize. When your eyes open to the light of day, you are not beginning the journey toward health. You are simply becoming aware of what has been true in the unseen while you slept. The body you rise with is not a separate creation each day, but the continuous expression of the divine blueprint that holds your original design of balance, strength, and vitality. The hours of sleep are a silent rehearsal for the truth that greets you upon waking. Throughout the night, your subconscious has been shaping, repairing, and adjusting every system in accordance with the impressions you gave it. If those impressions were of harmony and health, the renewal has been in alignment with that vision. This is why a sense of well-being can appear suddenly upon waking, even after a day of fatigue or pain. You did not create this wholeness in those few hours, it was always there, waiting for the mind and body to align with it enough for you to feel it. When you awaken already whole, you are in harmony with the fact that nothing essential has been lost. Even if the outer body shows signs of wear or challenge, the truth of your being remains intact, untouched by appearances. The divine pattern of your health is as present in you at the first breath of the morning as it was at the first breath of your life. Illness and imbalance are temporary overlays, not permanent changes to the original design. They are like shadows cast across a landscape. They may obscure the view, but they cannot alter the terrain beneath. As the light returns, the shadow dissolves, and the form beneath is revealed exactly as it has always been. Awakening already whole means you start the day with the inner certainty that your health is not fragile or conditional. You do not need to check for signs of decline to decide whether to feel safe or strong. Instead, you move into the morning knowing that every breath you take is drawn from an infinite source of vitality, that every step you take is supported by the same power that moves the tides and turns the seasons. This knowing is not wishful thinking. It is the recognition of a law as consistent as gravity. Life sustains life, and you are inseparable from that sustaining force. Your state upon waking is shaped not only by the work of the subconscious during the night, but also by the beliefs you carry into the morning. If you rise expecting to feel weary, burdened, or unwell, the subconscious accepts those expectations and sets the tone for the day accordingly. But if you rise expecting to feel whole, vibrant, and renewed, the subconscious aligns the body's energy with that expectation. The first moments upon waking are therefore as fertile as the moments before sleep, because the conscious mind has not yet fully engaged with the demands and distractions of the outer world. In those moments, you can claim your wholeness with clarity and conviction, impressing upon the subconscious the truth you wish to live out through the hours ahead. To awaken already whole is also to understand that wholeness is not a matter of the absence of all discomfort or challenge. It is the presence of a deep, unshakable harmony that is not disturbed by temporary fluctuations. A river remains a river whether it is calm or stirred by wind, and your health remains your health whether you feel it fully in a given moment or not. When you recognize this, you stop making your sense of wholeness dependent on changing conditions and instead anchor it in the permanence of your divine blueprint. From this place, even the smallest signs of improvement are welcomed not as uncertain gifts, but as natural expressions of what has always been true. This awareness transforms the way you move through your day. You no longer rise to try to get better, but to express the vitality that is already yours. Your actions, eating, walking, working, resting, become affirmations of health rather than attempts to chase it. You treat your body with care and respect not because you fear it is weak, but because you honor it as the vessel of your spirit's expression. This shift in perspective removes the strain and anxiety that often surround the idea of healing, replacing them with ease and trust. Each morning offers a new opportunity to reaffirm this truth. When you open your eyes, you can choose to align your first thoughts with life rather than with limitation. You can breathe deeply, feeling the strength in your body, and declare silently or aloud that you are whole now, not someday in the future. By doing this before the momentum of the day begins, you give the subconscious a clear instruction that will carry through every interaction, decision, and movement. The body responds to this clarity by maintaining and enhancing the state you have claimed. The feeling of waking whole also extends beyond the physical. It includes mental clarity, emotional stability, and spiritual connection. Your mind is refreshed from the release of the previous day's concerns, and your emotions are lighter for having been renewed in the stillness of the night. Even if challenges await you in the outer world, you meet them from a place of centered strength rather than from depletion. This completeness radiates from within and influences everything around you, creating an environment that supports your continued well-being. Waking already whole is the natural state. It is how life designed you to be. The idea that health must be earned anew each day is a misunderstanding that arises from focusing too much on conditions and too little on the source. When you remember that the source of your life is unchanging, you stop seeing the morning as a reset from a place of lack and begin to see it as a continuation of abundance. You are not starting empty. You are starting full, and the day is an opportunity to pour that fullness into every action, thought, and word. When you live with this awareness, even the smallest morning rituals take on new meaning. The act of stretching, of standing and moving, becomes an expression of gratitude for the body's strength. The act of drinking water becomes a celebration of the life force flowing through you. You are not doing these things to fix yourself. You are doing them as expressions of the wholeness you have awakened into. This subtle but profound shift turns the entire rhythm of the day into one of affirmation and reinforcement rather than repair and recovery. The truth that you awaken already whole is the foundation for lasting health, because it keeps you rooted in the awareness that nothing essential is missing. Your day then unfolds as a living demonstration of that truth, and the body responds by aligning more and more closely with the image of wholeness you carry. Even as the outer world changes, the inner reality remains steady, and from that steadiness, vitality flows naturally into every moment you live. There is a law in the universe more certain than the rising of the sun. It is the law of spoken word, the law of vibration, the law of faith made manifest. What is decreed with conviction, clothed in imagination, and spoken as truth, must come forth into form. The invisible substance of spirit awaits the command of the awakened soul, and money, health, opportunity, and every good thing are but shadows cast by the light of divine supply. Man is not a beggar, he is a creator. He is not meant to toil in fear, clutching at pennies, but to stand as a king in his own realm, declaring his inheritance. The spoken word is the scepter, each thought is seed, each word is the blossom, and the harvest is inevitable. When a word of power is uttered in unwavering certainty, the substance of the unseen rushes to obey. $80,000 is no more difficult for infinite intelligence to provide than $8. The same source that hung the stars in their orbits and holds the oceans within their bounds is the source of your supply. It does not measure in small or great, it only mirrors faith or fear. The one who says, I cannot, shall not. The one who says, I can, already has. To summon 80,000 instantly is not to strive, but to align. It is not the grasping of hands, but the release of doubt. It is not the labor of the brow, but the certainty of the word. For money is energy, clothed in form, and energy obeys the voice of spirit. The key is not in effort, but in affirmation, not in worry, but in declaration. The world teaches men to chase, but spirit teaches men to call forth. The outer world says, struggle and save. The inner world says, speak and receive. One toils for crumbs, the other commands the feast. The one who understands the word knows that money is an obedient servant, never a master, and that abundance flows when the lips utter truth without contradiction. Therefore, the exact word must be spoken with authority, as one who knows their place in the kingdom. The declaration is not a wish, not a hope, not a timid request. It is the voice of certainty. The soul must stand and say, I summon the 80,000 now, by divine right, under grace, in perfect ways. And as this word is spoken, it goes forth to gather substance, to open doors, to quicken channels, until the money appears in expected and unexpected avenues. There is no delay in spirit. Delay exists only in doubt. The one who waits in faith shall see the manifestation as surely as dawn follows night. For every word spoken in truth is a seed in the soil of eternity, and the harvest is swift. The $80 is already yours in the invisible. The spoken word calls it into sight. The law of the spoken word is the keynote of life. For every condition seen in the world is the direct result of some word once spoken, some belief once accepted, some decree once uttered into the invisible. The keynote no. One is this man stands as the instrument of divine power, and through his word, he summons the substance of the unseen into the shape of his desires. Nothing is withheld from the one who knows his word carries the very authority of spirit. The lips may appear to speak sound, but in truth they vibrate the universe itself, sending forth currents that draw to the speaker his portion of wealth, health, love, and success. The untrained soul speaks idle words, words of fear, words of limitation, and thus reaps poverty, delay, confusion, and struggle. But the awakened soul guards his word as a king guards his treasure. He does not let doubt slip from his mouth, for he knows the law has no humor and takes every utterance as command. To speak lack is to plant lack. To speak riches is to plant riches. To declare, I am always in debt, is to command debt to remain. To say, my supply is endless, is to command the rivers of abundance to flow without ceasing. Thus the keynote no. One is the mastery of the spoken word, and it is the golden key to summoning a 80,000 or any other form of desired good. When man realizes that money is not material in essence, but spiritual, he ceases to chase it and begins to command it. For money is condensed energy, solidified thought, crystallized belief. It is the shadow of supply, not the source. The source is infinite, ever-present, limitless, and eager to pour forth more than man can imagine. The moment a man speaks the exact word with faith, the channels open. The supply rushes forward as surely as water rushes when the dam is lifted. Nothing can hold it back but disbelief, nothing can limit it but the faint voice of fear. Consider the one who says, it takes time to earn such a sum. His word binds him to time. Consider the one who says, it is impossible in my situation. His word locks the doors to possibility. Yet the one who says, by divine right I summon 80,000 now, instantly and without delay, sets a law in motion beyond circumstance, beyond reason, beyond human means. The unseen currents begin to move, bringing opportunities, gifts, channels, and unexpected avenues. People call it coincidence, fortune, or chance, but it is law, and law unfailing. The keynote: no. One is not wishful thinking, but absolute decree. Wishes flutter and fade, but the decree of the word is eternal. Man must stand as one who knows he is backed by the authority of the infinite. He does not tremble, he does not hope timidly. He speaks with the calm certainty of one who knows the universe hears him and answers. To say the word in fear is to cancel the word. To speak in doubt is to scatter the harvest. But to declare with conviction, the 80,000 appears now, swiftly and perfectly, is to set the invisible hand to work at once. Spirit does not measure amounts. It is as easy to bring forth 80,000 as it is to bring forth 8. Only the mind of man places numbers and scales on supply. Spirit knows no small or great. Spirit knows only completeness. If the mind clings to the thought that great sums require great toil, then toil will come. But if the word spoken is, my supply is instant, my abundance is effortless, my prosperity flows without struggle, then the channels open wide and money comes as easily as breath. The law works for the small and the mighty, for the cup and the ocean, with the same certainty. To live by the keynote: no. One is to discipline the tongue and the thought. Idle words of lack must be cast aside. Complaints must be silenced. Fearful prophecies must be withdrawn. The lips must become instruments of affirmation, of truth, of prosperity. The one who says daily, all channels are open, my wealth is secure, the 80,000 comes to me now, will see doors open where none were before. The words are not mere sounds, they are forces, each syllable alive with creative power. When man speaks, heaven listens. When man decrees, the earth obeys. It is written that life and death are in the power of the tongue. This is no idle verse, it is the foundation of the law. To speak poverty is death to supply. To speak riches is life to abundance. Every man walks in the garden of his own words. Some plant thorns and wonder why they bleed. Some plant roses and wonder at their fragrance. But the wise man plants gold with his lips, declaring prosperity, affirming riches, and calling forth wealth as his birthright. $80,000 is already present in the unseen. It exists now, in the vast storehouse of supply, awaiting the word that will bring it into form. Man need not wonder how, for the how is Spirit's work. The when is also Spirit's work. Man's part is only to declare, to speak, to hold the vision steady and the word unwavering. The supply rushes to him through perfect channels, often in ways he could not design, through sources he did not expect, in forms more wonderful than he imagined. His part is to speak, the law's part is to perform. The keynote: no. One is thus the realization that every word is prophecy. The moment man utters, I summon 80,000 instantly by divine right, he has planted the seed. The soil of spirit receives it, the rain of faith waters it, the sun of certainty warms it, and the harvest must appear. No force can prevent it but the uprooting of the seed by fear or contradiction. If the man says one day, I summon my supply now, and the next day, I doubt it can come, he digs up his own harvest. But if he holds fast, if he continues to declare with unwavering authority, the manifestation becomes inevitable. The lips of man are the tools of creation. His word is the magic wand. The keynote: no. One is to remember that every decree spoken in faith is a command to the universe, and the universe never disobeys. He must therefore use his word with precision, with care, with majesty, knowing that 80,000 is not only possible, but already his in the invisible, waiting only for the sound of the exact word to summon it forth. Belief is the key that unlocks the treasure chest of heaven. Many speak words of faith but secretly believe in lack, and so they reap according to belief, not words alone. To declare, I summon $80,000 now, while inwardly holding the picture of struggle, is to plant one seed of wealth and one seed of lack, and the stronger seed will dominate. Spirit never withholds supply, it simply mirrors belief. When man believes wealth is his birthright, wealth flows. When man believes in obstacles, obstacles appear. The keynote No 2 is therefore the mastery of belief, the shaping of the inner picture until it matches the outer decree. Consider the man who prays for supply, yet believes that large sums are difficult to obtain. His belief chains him to the slow path. He may declare the word with his lips, but his inner eye still sees scarcity. Spirit answers both the word and the belief, and the result is mixed. Yet the man who declares, $80,000 is mine now, and also believes without question that it is already given, shall see the swift manifestation. The law works not by effort but by alignment, and belief is the magnet that pulls the invisible into form. Belief is shaped by words heard, images held, and thoughts entertained. The untrained mind accepts the world's chorus of lack, the voices that cry. Money is scarce, wealth is hard, only a few prosper. These beliefs lodge in the heart and reproduce their own kind. But the awakened soul casts out these false seeds and replaces them with the eternal truth. My supply is unlimited, money flows freely. Abundance is mine by divine right. He repeats these truths until they saturate the heart, until the belief shifts, until the subconscious mind accepts wealth as natural and effortless. Then the lips and the heart are one, and the word spoken goes forth with unstoppable power. The keynote No. 2 teaches that man does not receive according to chance, but according to his own conviction. If he believes money comes only through struggle, struggle accompanies his supply. If he believes it can come instantly, instantly it arrives. The world may mock such faith, calling it foolishness. But the law of belief does not answer the world's doubt. It answers the individual's certainty. Faith the size of a mustard seed moves mountains, because even the smallest unshakable belief commands the universe. $80,000 does not come because man calculates how it will arrive. It comes because man believes it must arrive. Belief does not need to know the channel, only the result. The farmer does not ask how the soil transforms the seed into fruit, he only believes it will. Likewise, the one who plants the seed of belief in prosperity need not know the invisible processes. He only believes and receives. Spirit delights in surprising man with unexpected ways, opening doors he never thought to knock upon, sending gifts through hands he never imagined. Belief is strengthened by imagination. To believe in wealth, one must see oneself already in possession of it. To summon $80,000, one must picture it as present, as spent, as used for the highest good. The mind must hold the image so vividly that the outer world cannot contradict it. Doubt fades before the strong picture of faith. The inner movie becomes the outer reality. When man believes with his whole being, the universe bends to match his vision. Belief is weakened by contradiction. To say, I believe, and then to worry, is to divide the current. To declare, my supply is certain, and then complain of lack, is to break the flow. The keynote No. 2 demands consistency. The steady holding of belief until the manifestation appears. Belief must be nurtured daily, fed with affirmations, strengthened by gratitude, reinforced by silence against opposing voices. When doubt arises, it must be cast out and replaced instantly with truth. When fear whispers, the soul must answer with certainty, I believe in my abundance, I believe in my 80,000. I believe in instant supply. Belief is not effort but surrender. It is the quiet knowing that what is decreed is already done. Many mistake belief for strain, but belief is ease. The bird does not struggle to fly, it simply trusts the air. The fish does not fight to swim. It simply trusts the water. Likewise, man must trust the unseen law that his belief shapes his experience. To summon $80,000 instantly is not to wrestle with possibility, but to rest in certainty. To know it is already so and to walk as if it were visible. Belief has no rivals but fear and doubt, and these two must be silenced. Fear says, it cannot be. Belief answers, it already is. Doubt says, the channels are closed. Belief answers, all channels are open. Fear counts obstacles, belief counts blessings. The one who holds belief steadfastly will always overcome the whispers of fear, for fear has no substance, it is only shadow. Belief is substance. Belief is power, belief is the magnet of supply. The keynote No. 2 reminds man that belief cannot be borrowed, it must be built within. No other can believe for him. Each soul must stand in its own conviction. Teachers may point the way, scriptures may declare the truth, but each man must believe it for himself. And once he does, the law rushes to meet him, as surely as the tide rushes to the shore. His belief becomes the mold into which his 80,000 flows, filling every corner of his life with proof of his faith. The inner conviction is the true wealth. Once belief is anchored, money must follow, for money is but one form of substance that responds to belief. The man who truly believes in endless supply will not stop at $80,000, for he will know that infinite sums are just as possible, just as effortless, just as certain. The keynote No. 2 is the law of belief, and it shapes all other keys, for without belief the word is weak, but with belief the word is almighty. To summon $80,000 instantly, the picture must be formed within as vividly as if it already sat before the eyes. The mind must see the bank account filled, the checks written, the bills paid, the freedom enjoyed. Imagination must build the scene so completely that the heart responds with joy, as though the thing were already done. For the subconscious mind does not distinguish between real and imagined. It accepts the picture as truth and sets the unseen forces to work to make it so. The keynote No. 3 is therefore the art of holding the vision, without wavering until it crystallizes into experience. Many fail to manifest because they allow their imagination to wander in fear and doubt. They picture loss, they see themselves lacking. They rehearse misfortune in the theater of the mind, and so they reap in kind. For the law does not choose between good or bad. It simply reproduces what is impressed upon it. If the inner screen is filled with poverty, the outer world will echo it. If the inner screen is filled with wealth, wealth must appear. Thus man must take command of imagination as a king commands his court, banishing every picture of defeat and entertaining only the visions of prosperity, joy, and success. The keynote No. 3 teaches that imagination is creative substance itself. To imagine vividly is to plant the seed of reality. Each picture held in faith is a prophecy. To see oneself as prosperous is to decree prosperity. To see oneself surrounded by supply is to command supply. When imagination is married to belief and spoken word, the trinity of creation is complete, and nothing can prevent the manifestation. The $80,000 already exists in the invisible, and imagination is the bridge that brings it into sight. The power of imagination must be used deliberately, for idle pictures create idle results. The untrained mind drifts from scene to scene, shifting from riches to ruin, from faith to fear, and the harvest is confusion. But the disciplined soul chooses its images with care, building the inner movie with precision and holding it as sacred. He rehearses his prosperity daily, seeing himself as already supplied, feeling the joy of freedom, experiencing the gratitude of answered prayer. In time, the outer world bends to reflect the inner vision, as surely as water reflects the sky. Imagination is the faculty by which man enters into the invisible and shapes it to his will. To imagine is to preview creation. The artist sees the painting before it is on canvas. The architect sees the building before stone is laid. The wealthy man sees his fortune before the world acknowledges it. Imagination is not fantasy, it is prophecy. It is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. To call forth $80,000, one must see it clearly, see it now, see it as already present, and hold the image with unwavering delight. The keynote No. 3 shows that emotion is the fuel of imagination. A dry picture without feeling has little power, but a picture saturated with joy, gratitude, and certainty is irresistible. To imagine holding the money, to imagine the relief of debts paid, to imagine the freedom of giving, the comfort of abundance, the thrill of opportunity. This fills the image with life. Spirit responds not to faint shadows, but to vivid living pictures that stir the soul. The heart must leap as though it already possesses what the mind imagines, and then the law hastens to deliver it. Imagination also requires silence. In the quiet moments of stillness, the mind paints most vividly. Noise and distraction scatter the picture, but solitude strengthens it. The one who sets aside time to build the vision of prosperity within will see it without. Daily rehearsal of the picture engraves it upon the subconscious until it becomes a conviction. Once the image is fixed, nothing can erase it, and the outer manifestation becomes inevitable. The keynote No. 3 warns against negative imagination. To picture failure is to summon failure. To dwell on loss is to invite loss. To rehearse disasters is to write them into one's script. The soul must be watchful, turning every negative scene into its opposite. When fear shows poverty, imagination must immediately show wealth. When doubt paints delay, imagination must instantly paint instant supply. This constant practice trains the mind to hold only the pictures of good, and in time, the outer life becomes a mirror of those pictures. The richness of imagination lies in its power to go beyond reason. Reason says $80,000 requires time, effort, planning, and channels. Imagination says it already exists, it is already present, it can appear instantly through ways unknown. Reason counts limitations, imagination knows no limit. Reason bows to circumstances, imagination commands circumstances. The keynote No. 3 invites man to leave the narrow halls of reason and dwell in the vast palace of vision, where all things are possible and nothing is withheld. The one who masters imagination becomes the master of his fate. He does not wait for evidence. He creates it. He does not react to the world. He shapes it. When the world shows lack, he closes his eyes and sees abundance. When the world speaks of difficulty, he imagines ease. When the world warns of impossibility, he imagines the thing already done. And because he holds his vision with faith, the world must eventually bow to it, reshaping itself in the likeness of the image he has cherished. To summon $80,000 instantly, one must enter into gratitude as if the money were already received. The lips must say, "Thank you." The heart must feel relief, the mind must rejoice, the spirit must be lifted as though the sum were already in possession. Gratitude is faith in action, the evidence of belief, the fragrance of imagination made real. Without gratitude, words are hollow, but with gratitude, they are charged with life. The one who continually gives thanks for abundance sees more abundance. For the law of gratitude ensures that whatever is praised is increased. Many wait to give thanks until after the manifestation appears, but the wise soul gives thanks before, knowing that in spirit the gift is already complete. Gratitude is not a reward for what has come, but the cause of what is coming. To say, "I am grateful for my $80,000 now," is to pull it forward from the unseen into the visible. Gratitude is the magnet that draws the invisible substance into form. It is the evidence that one already accepts the gift as real, and acceptance always precedes reception. The keynote No. 4 reveals that ingratitude is the great thief of supply. To complain is to shut the gate. To murmur is to dry the stream. To dwell in dissatisfaction is to delay the blessing. When man looks at his life and finds fault, he calls forth more to fault. When he blesses every circumstance, even those that appear difficult, he transforms them into channels of good. Gratitude sanctifies every path and multiplies every seed. The soul that blesses the smallest coin shall see it multiply into treasure. The one who gives thanks for a single open channel shall see 1,000 doors swing wide. Gratitude changes the vibration of the speaker. It lifts him from fear to faith, from lack to plenty, from bondage to freedom. Gratitude is light in the darkness, a melody in the silence, a beacon that signals to the universe that one is ready to receive more. Spirit never forces blessings upon the unwilling. Gratitude proves readiness. To say, "Thank you," with a full heart is to announce to the universe, "I am prepared, I am open, I am in harmony with abundance." At once the flow increases, the gifts multiply, the unseen pours forth visible proof. The keynote No. 4 is practical as well as spiritual. When one practices gratitude daily, his mind turns away from obstacles and toward blessings. He ceases to magnify problems and begins to magnify possibilities. He notices doors that were invisible before. He attracts helpers and opportunities. He inspires generosity in others. Gratitude is contagious, spreading joy and kindness, and in its spreading it multiplies. The man who lives in gratitude becomes a magnet for more to be grateful for, until his life overflows with riches. Gratitude is not limited to words. It must be felt in the depths of the heart. To utter thanks without feeling is to play a hollow note. But when gratitude fills the soul with warmth, when the heart swells with appreciation, the vibration is unmistakable and irresistible. Spirit responds to that vibration with increase. The one who truly feels grateful for his $80,000 now, before it appears, will see it appear swiftly, for his gratitude proves he already holds it in the unseen. The keynote No. 4 also teaches that gratitude must extend to all things. The grateful soul thanks not only for money but for health, for relationships, for opportunities, for every breath of life. He thanks even for challenges, knowing they bring hidden blessings. He thanks for delays, knowing they prepare the way for greater gifts. His gratitude is not selective but complete, and therefore his abundance is not partial but overflowing. To summon a specific sum such as $80,000, gratitude must be focused and continual, but the spirit of gratitude must also permeate the whole of life. Gratitude is the opposite of fear. Fear says, "What if I lose?" Gratitude says, "I already have." Fear looks to the future with trembling. Gratitude looks to the present with joy. Fear shrinks the channels of supply. Gratitude enlarges them. The man who is grateful lives beyond fear, for he knows his supply is constant, his blessings unending, his abundance secure. He gives thanks for what he sees and what he does not see, and in his thanksgiving, fear dissolves like mist before the sun. The keynote No. 4 reminds that gratitude must be practiced consciously. It is easy to drift into complaint, to dwell on lack, to compare with others. But the conscious practice of gratitude shifts the energy instantly. A list spoken aloud, a song of thanks, a silent prayer of appreciation, each one aligns the soul with abundance. Repetition engraves the habit until gratitude becomes second nature, and second nature brings forth its fruits without effort. When gratitude is habitual, abundance is inevitable. Gratitude also transforms giving. To give with resentment is to sow barren seed, but to give with gratitude is to sow a field that cannot fail to yield. The grateful giver rejoices in sharing, knowing that giving opens the floodgates of receiving. He gives thanks for the opportunity to give, thanks for the means to give, thanks for the joy of giving, and his gift returns multiplied. Gratitude sanctifies giving and transforms it into a channel for wealth. The keynote No. 4 shows that gratitude is a creative force. It is not a passive reaction but an active cause. Gratitude is the declaration that good is already present, and spirit responds to that declaration by making it visible. To give thanks for $80,000 instantly is to set the law in motion at once. The universe hears the note of gratitude and rushes to confirm it, for gratitude is the signal of possession. The grateful heart already owns the gift in the invisible, and the visible must follow. Gratitude is harmony with the infinite. The universe is abundant, overflowing, generous, limitless. To give thanks is to align with that truth. To complain is to resist it. Gratitude tunes the soul to the frequency of abundance, and once tuned, the flow is uninterrupted. The keynote No. 4 is therefore not an accessory to prosperity, but its foundation, for without gratitude abundance falters. And with gratitude even the smallest seed becomes a harvest too great to measure. The soul that clings to old lack is like a vessel already filled with stagnant water. Until it is poured out, fresh water cannot flow in. The law of release demands that man empty his vessel of fear, complaint, resentment, and worry so that abundance may pour in pure and clean. The moment one releases, the law begins to operate, for release is a signal of trust. To let go is to declare, "I believe my good is secure. I do not need to cling, for I am supplied." That declaration opens the gates of the unseen and summons wealth with speed. Release often requires forgiveness. When man holds resentment, he blocks his own supply. Every grudge is a knot in the channel. Every bitterness a stone in the river. To release those who have wronged us is not to condone their deeds, but to free ourselves from the bondage of the past. Forgiveness dissolves the barrier and restores the flow. The soul that forgives quickly and completely finds that money, health, and opportunity rush in, for nothing is hindering the stream. The keynote No. 5 reminds us that unforgiveness is too costly to keep, for it robs the soul of abundance. Release also means letting go of fear of the future. Many hold tightly to what they have, fearing it will not be replaced, and in so doing, they block the greater good that longs to come. The one who says, "I cannot give, for I may lack tomorrow," has already set the law of lack in motion. But the one who releases freely, giving joyfully, trusting that more is always on the way, summons prosperity without delay. Release is the open hand, and the open hand can both give and receive. The keynote No. 5 shows that release is as much inner as outer. To release old patterns of thought, one must examine the words spoken daily. Words of complaint must be let go. Words of fear must be released. Words of doubt must be silenced. When man releases negative speech, he creates space for words of power, and those words bring forth riches. To summon $80,000 instantly, the lips must be free of every phrase that denies abundance. Release the old vocabulary of struggle and take on the new vocabulary of supply, and the money rushes in as surely as light rushes in when the shutters are opened. Release is also the surrender of control. Many delay their blessings by insisting they must know the exact channel through which supply will come. They watch one door and ignore 100 others. Release is the willingness to let Spirit choose the perfect avenue. The soul that says, "It must come this way," binds itself to a narrow path. But the soul that releases its demand and declares, "It comes in perfect ways, by divine right, through expected and unexpected channels," opens itself to infinite supply. Release is freedom from insistence, and freedom is the soil of miracles. The keynote No. 5 reveals that release carries joy. To let go is not to suffer but to rejoice, for one knows that something greater is on its way. The farmer does not mourn when he releases the seed into the ground, he rejoices, for he knows the harvest will come. Likewise, the soul that releases fear, resentment, and doubt does not mourn but celebrates, for he knows the $80,000 is already growing in the invisible and will soon appear in the visible. Release is the act of planting, and gratitude waters the seed. Release is often tested. Spirit may ask the soul to give away what it clings to most, not as punishment but as preparation for greater supply. The one who gives joyfully proves trust, and trust multiplies blessings. Many stories tell of those who gave their last coin with gratitude and saw wealth pour in at once. The law cannot fail, for release always precedes increase. To hold is to limit, to release is to expand. The keynote No. 5 is therefore a challenge and a promise. If you release freely, you will receive abundantly. Release also means letting go of the picture of delay. Many pray but then hold tightly to the belief that it will take time. They rehearse waiting, and so they wait. To summon instantly, one must release the thought of waiting and embrace the thought of now. Release time, and time releases you. Declare that the $80,000 is here already. Release every belief that it must come slowly, and the law rushes to prove your faith. Release is a cleansing fire. It burns away the dross of the past and leaves only pure substance ready to form into wealth. Every resentment released is fuel for prosperity. Every fear surrendered is a door opened. Every doubt let go is a window unlatched. Release purifies the vessel so that Spirit may pour in riches without hindrance. The keynote No. 5 is the reminder that nothing clung to in fear is worth the price of delay. To release is to accelerate manifestation. The act of release can be simple. A spoken word of forgiveness, a declaration of trust, a physical act of giving. A moment of silence in which fear is surrendered. All these open the channels. No act of release is too small, for each creates space for greater supply. The one who practices release daily lives with open hands and open heart, never fearing loss, always expecting increase. He moves lightly through life, unburdened by yesterday, unconcerned with tomorrow, certain of supply in every moment.
Welcome to the Depth Dive. And if you're joining us again, welcome back to the second in our series. Settle in, maybe take a breath, because today we're going on a really insightful journey. We're diving into some timeless spiritual principles, specifically, the teachings of the amazing Florence Scovel Shinn, and how her wisdom touches something so personal for all of us: money, abundance, divine supply, and that deep power of faith. Have you ever felt that? That quiet frustration, maybe? Watching prosperity just seem to flow so easily for others, like a river, nourishing some lives, some families. Well, you feel kind of overlooked, bypassed, like you're just standing on the riverbank watching that current rush by, just out of reach. You work hard, you hope, you do all the things you're supposed to do, and still that feeling's there. So this deep dive, it's about remembering how to step right into that current. It's like a shortcut, really, to remembering what you already know deep down.
Yeah, and what's truly amazing is that this flow, this river of abundance, it doesn't play favorites. It's never actually avoided you. It's more like it's been pooling right there at your feet, just waiting, waiting for permission to enter. And today, well, that waiting stops. This isn't about learning some complex, brand new secret. Not at all. It's really about remembering a truth that, your soul already gets. A truth that once you really embrace it, changes absolutely everything.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Florence Scovel Shinn, she taught that life is this game, right? Played not with force, but with belief. And the first, maybe the most fundamental rule of this game is this: money isn't a thing you chase or win.
Exactly. It's an energy,
Right.
something to embody, a current to join.
We miss that so often, don't we? We're kind of conditioned to see money as finite, scarce.
It creates that hunter mentality.
Yeah, like we have to capture it, hoard it, protect it from others, that clenched fist consciousness.
Believing that for us to have more, someone else must have less. And that perception, that's the real barrier. That belief, it literally acts like a dam, blocking the very flow you actually want. When your core belief is lack, well, you create lack in your experience. It's that simple in a way. When you're vibrating with desperation, you're subconsciously pushing away the very thing you're trying so hard to attract.
So money itself is neutral.
Essentially, yes. Think of it like divine substance in motion, like electricity, maybe. A neutral energy that moves freely. It flows away from resistance like that clenched fist and towards open, welcoming channels. The universe itself, its very nature, is abundance, not scarcity. It's an inexhaustible supply, and money is just one way that shows up.
That makes sense. You mentioned Andrew Carnegie earlier.
Right. A great example came to America with, well, basically nothing. Others saw limits, scarcity. But Carnegie, he saw need,
Yeah.
immense need. He got that wealth wasn't about grabbing a slice of a fixed pie.
So it was about creating value.
Exactly. He didn't focus on his need for money. He focused on the nation's need for steel. He poured his energy into serving that need. And guess what? The money just flowed naturally. He became one of the wealthiest people ever, not by chasing dollars, but by becoming this huge channel of service. He aligned himself with that flow of what was needed.
Wow. That's such a powerful shift, especially when you think about all the financial anxiety today. It's not about fighting for a peace, but becoming a channel for this limitless river.
Precisely.
But how do you really feel that? When the bills are right there staring you down?
It starts inside. It has to. Just take a gentle breath, maybe right now, and let this truth kind of settle in.
Yeah.
Money flows to me naturally as I align with universal abundance. Just feel the possibility in that for a moment.
Okay. So if money is this energy and it flows away from resistance,
Mm.
how do we get into alignment? How do we actually receive it?
That brings us right to Florence Scovel Shinn's second big principle. Prosperity is your divine birthright. It's not some reward for suffering.
Ooh, that's radical for a lot of us, isn't it? The whole narrative of struggle and hardship.
It really is. Prosperity isn't something you earn through martyrdom or grinding yourself down. It's something you claim through alignment. The universe created abundance for everyone, but only those who consciously claim it really get to experience it.
And you're saying money itself responds to that energy.
Yes, spiritually, money tends to avoid that energy of martyrdom, that belief you have to earn your worth through hardship. Money kind of shies away from that. Instead, it flows with grace, with ease, towards those who understand they are inherently worthy just because they exist.
Like that ancient wisdom: Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper.
Exactly, and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. See, your outer prosperity reflects your inner alignment. Abundance isn't something you beg for. The universe is eager, actually, to pour it through you the moment your consciousness becomes that welcoming vessel.
The story of Solomon comes to mind.
A perfect illustration. When offered anything, he didn't ask for riches, did he?
No, he asked for wisdom, an understanding heart.
Right. He prioritized his connection to divine intelligence, to that inner alignment. And because he did that,
He got both wisdom and wealth.
wealth beyond measure. Remember, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Yeah.
That's not just a nice moral saying, it's a spiritual formula. Solomon got it. Prosperity flows from consciousness centered in truth, not from material panic. It flowed from his consciousness, not because of his circumstances.
That brings such a sense of peace. But I can hear some listeners thinking, okay, if it's my birthright, why have I struggled so much? How does Florence explain those past struggles?
She'd say those struggles weren't failures. Not at all. They were simply misunderstandings of these universal laws that are actually designed to support us. We were often, with the best intentions, working against the very principles meant to help. So the key now is letting go of that old story, that sense of unworthiness.
How do we do that?
Maybe just place a hand on your heart right now and declare with a quiet but really firm knowing, I claim my divine birthright of infinite abundance and prosperity. It is mine now. Feel the truth of that.
Mm. That idea of inviting money in, making our consciousness welcoming, it brings up our relationship with money, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And that's Florence's third key. Money responds to your energetic relationship with it. It's neutral energy, remember, like water. It just takes on the character of the beliefs you project onto it.
So if we fear it,
It tends to slip away. If you resent wealthy people, well, you're subconsciously pushing wealth away from yourself.
or if you believe deep down that money is somehow dirty or corrupt.
You create this invisible energy barrier. I mean, think about it. Why would a welcome guest want to come into a home where it's feared or despised or seen as tainted?
Good point. So the opposite is.
Holding it with reverence, seeing it as a beautiful tool for good, as universal energy that can heal, build, bless. When you make your consciousness a safe, even sacred harbor for money to do its highest work, it's naturally drawn to you.
Like Warren Buffett, you mentioned him.
Yeah, for all his financial genius, he intuitively gets this. He doesn't see money just for personal pleasure, for hoarding. He sees it as energy to be circulated for maximum benefit. His giving pledge, giving away nearly all his wealth, that's not just charity,
It's a statement.
a profound statement of this spiritual understanding. He knows money flows most abundantly to those who hold it lightly and use it purposefully. His whole investment philosophy is about finding genuine, long-term value. That aligns with money's true nature as a flow of value exchange. The universe trusts him with more because he keeps that energy moving, wisely and responsibly.
That really shifts things around the guilt we sometimes feel about money, doesn't it?
It really does. It invites us into a much higher, cleaner relationship with it.
So maybe another declaration, even just internally for now.
Yes, try this. Abundance is my natural state. Feel that.
Abundance is my natural state.
It's not just words, it's an activation. You're starting to release those old contracts with limitation, those inherited beliefs, those stories of scarcity. You're signaling to the infinite, and maybe more importantly, to your own powerful subconscious, that you are ready, ready to receive.
Okay. So as that declaration settles, let's talk about timing
Yeah.
because that trips a lot of people up. That's the fourth key, right?
Absolutely. Money flows according to universal timing, not our human impatience. So many of us feel late, like our ship has sailed.
Yeah, I get that.
But the universe, it is never ever late.
That's crucial, especially with career stress or feeling stuck.
Totally. Universal timing operates with its perfect intelligence. It sees the whole picture. Your soul's purpose, the lessons you need, your readiness, your actual capacity to handle the blessings you've asked for. Sometimes what feels like a delay. It isn't a denial. Not at all.
Incubation.
A sacred incubation.
Oh.
The universe uses that time, that feeling of delay, to expand your ability to receive, to manage, to multiply the abundance when it does arrive. You're not being held back. You're being made ready.
Like Sarah Blakely, the Spanx founder.
Perfect example. Years selling fax machines door to door while working on her idea. Rejection after rejection.
From a human view, the timing seemed awful. No money, no connections.
Right. But Sarah used those delay years. She refined her vision, she strengthened her belief, she built character. She wasn't being denied, she was being forged. And when the universal timing was right, bam, doors flew open, Oprah called, sales exploded.
Because she was ready.
Exactly. Those delays were the essential foundation. Money flowed precisely when she could handle it, with wisdom, grace, and purpose.
That's so comforting when we're stressing about our own timelines. It really helps let go of that urgency.
It does. So affirm this with a peaceful heart. Universal timing orchestrates my financial abundance for my highest good and greatest purpose. Trust that.
Okay, key number 5. This one feels really important too. Gratitude.
Oh, yes. Gratitude is a magnetic force. Money flows towards appreciation and, well, it flows away from complaint. Gratitude is the frequency that opens all the channels of receiving. Complaint just slams them shut.
But people often think, well, when I get the money, then I'll be grateful.
Ah, the classic when then trap.
Yeah.
That's spiritual law in reverse. It actually creates a vibrational wall, repelling the very thing they want. Money doesn't respond to future promises, it responds to present moment appreciation. Right now. When you can look at, say, the $5 in your wallet with the same genuine gratitude you'd feel for 5 million,
You create the conditions for the 5 million to find you.
you create the energetic conditions, yes. Think of the parable of the talents. Those who were grateful for what they had and used it wisely, they got more. The one who complained and hid his talent lost even that. It's not judgment, it's spiritual physics. Gratitude multiplies, complaint diminishes.
Tony Robbins is a good example here too, right? Starting from real hardship.
Absolutely. He cultivated profound gratitude for every single opportunity, even when he had next to nothing. Appreciation for the chance to learn, to grow, to help others. That gratitude became the bedrock of his success. He celebrated every little win, every client breakthrough. Money flowed because he was this channel of gratitude empowering millions.
That's a beautiful invitation. Just find something right now, anything, to be truly grateful for.
Your breath, the roof over your head, someone you love.
Feel that warmth inside. And from that feeling, declare, I am deeply grateful for all abundance flowing to me now and always.
Beautiful. Now, the sixth key builds on this flow circulation. Money must move.
It flows to those who keep it circulating.
Yes, and it stagnates when it's hoarded out of fear. Wealth is a river, not a swamp.
That really challenges a lot of common fear based financial advice.
It does. Now, wise saving and investing are vital, don't get me wrong. But hoarding purely out of fear, that's energetically counterproductive. Money multiplies when it's moving with purpose. It diminishes when it just sits idle, choked by fear. When you allow money to flow through you in giving, in joyful spending that feels right, in wise investing, you become a clear channel that attracts an even stronger current.
Like Rockefeller, despite his immense wealth, he kept reinvesting, giving.
Exactly. He kept the energy moving. He famously said something like, every right implies a responsibility, every opportunity an obligation, every possession a duty. His wealth grew because he treated money as a force to be circulated for productive purposes. The universe trusted him with more because he proved he'd keep it moving for the benefit of many.
That's a big lesson when we're stuck in that not enough fear.
It really is. Lean into the principle of flow. Trust that what goes out comes back. Affirm this with an open heart. Money flows through me freely, blessing everyone it touches, and returns to me multiplied.
This leads perfectly into the 7th key, which feels even bigger somehow.
It is quite expansive. Money flows most abundantly to those whose prosperity serves a purpose greater than just their own personal comfort.
Explain that a bit more.
The universe, this infinite intelligence, channels its resources through people who will use them to create value, solve problems, heal, uplift, bless the world. If your desire for wealth is only about you, your comfort, your stuff, the flow tends to be limited to meet just those personal needs, which is fine. But when your desire for prosperity is connected to a higher purpose, when you see yourself as a channel for abundance that serves not just you, but humanity or the planet,
The flow becomes unlimited.
the potential becomes unlimited. The universe trusts you with more because it knows you'll use it for the highest good of all. You become a partner in its expression.
Like Chuck Feeney, the billionaire who secretly gave it all away.
A breathtaking example. He understood the money flowed to him not for personal accumulation, but for purposeful distribution. His job wasn't to own it, but to steward it. His wealth multiplied so quickly precisely because his intention was so pure. He held it lightly, used it purposefully. Money flows towards those who understand its highest function.
That connects deeply to living a purpose driven life. Our prosperity fuels our mission.
Exactly. Whatever your sacred why is, know that prosperity is the fuel for it. So declare this with sacred intention. My wealth serves universal purposes and multiplies as it blesses the world.
Okay, we've reached the 8th key, the most vital one.
The one that powers all the others, yes. Money flows to those who maintain unwavering faith in universal provision, even when circumstances, scream limitation.
And faith isn't just wishful thinking.
No, not at all. It's a deep spiritual knowing that goes beyond appearances. It's standing in the storm and knowing the sun is still there. The great law is, according to your faith, be it unto you. That's the operating manual for reality. Your faith, your deepest dominant belief about what's possible is a command.
So if we've had faith and lack,
Reality reflected it. But now you're choosing to place your faith consciously in abundance, in your universal inheritance. And as you hold to that new faith consistently, the universe must bring you evidence to support it. It has no choice.
and faith isn't passive, it requires action.
Faith is demonstrated through action, yes. It's the courage to invest in the dream, start the business, take the class, even when the bank account looks slim. It's making decisions from a consciousness of prosperity, knowing universal provision will support actions aligned with spiritual law.
Like Mary Kay Ash, starting later in life with just $5,000.
Incredible story. Built a $1 billion empire, empowering women. Her faith wasn't just in makeup, it was in the spiritual law that abundance flows to those who help others succeed. Money poured through her organization because her unwavering faith created the energetic vessel for it.
Wow, that's the ultimate answer to overcoming doubt, isn't it? Rooting ourselves in that knowing.
It is. Feel its certainty deep in your bones. Affirm this with absolute conviction. My faith in universal abundance creates unlimited financial prosperity in my life.
So, as these 8 truths start to really sink in, integrate into our being, our world has to shift.
It must. Because you are shifting. You're no longer operating from scarcity. You're operating from abundance.
Yeah.
You're not chasing money as an object. You're welcoming it as universal energy. You're not trying to earn your worth. You know you're claiming your inheritance.
And the change happens inside first.
Always. The outer world is the mirror. It just takes a little time sometimes to catch up to the new reflection you're holding within.
So, patience, gentleness,
Absolutely. Be patient. Be gentle with yourself. If old fears pop up and they might just acknowledge them, thank them for trying to protect you, maybe, and then gently, firmly return your focus to this new truth.
those past struggles weren't failures.
Never failures, just misunderstandings of laws designed purely to support you. But now you understand. And understanding changes everything.
We're not separate from the source of all abundance.
You are an expression of it, a unique, beloved expression. The same intelligence guiding the stars and turning the seasons' lives and breathes in you. When you align with that intelligence, think from its limitless potential instead of human fear. You become a magnet for wealth that serves universal purposes.
The flow has already begun. Can you feel it? Maybe just a subtle shift.
A new sense of peace, perhaps, a quiet inner knowing. That's it.
Welcome to your new relationship with wealth. Welcome to the flow of universal abundance.
Welcome, really, to the truth of who you have always been.
And as you go about your day, maybe just carry this one question gently in your heart.
What is the first new truth you will command your world to reflect?
That's a beautiful thought to hold on to. If these truths resonated with you deep down, we really invite you to continue this journey. You can watch the related video, just click on the end screen video showing up now, or find the link in the description below. Until then, walk in the knowing of your own universal abundance.